all still out there warming up. Some of the football in warm-up from these Premier League players is truly breathtaking. They're really good. When you get right up close and personal, about 2 metres away from where they're warming up, you realise just how brilliant they are with a ball at their feet. Let's remind you of the teams here at Aggborough with your commentator on TalkSport, Sam Matface.
Kidderminster Harriers make just one change from the side that eliminated Championship Reading back in January. Matty Preston comes into the heart of defence. Badrami, who we spoke about earlier, steps into midfield. Keziah Martin drops to the bench. Austin and Sterling, both scorers in round 3, start the game. Simpson's their goalkeeper. It's a back four of Penny, Cameron, Preston and Richards. Carrington and Badrami will play in midfield with a front four of Hemmings, Austin and Sterling, and Morgan Smith, who also scored in that game. West Ham leave Antonio at home. Just 2 youngsters on the bench. 8 changes, but it's a strong team. Bowen, Benrahma, Vlasic and Zuma all start the game. Arya Ola is the goalkeeper. Frederick, Zuma, Diop and Johnson the back four. It's Noble and Kral. Then Benrahma playing in the 10 position with Yarmolenko and Vlasic flanking Bowen playing as a false 9.
Thanks very much. Dawson, one of the West Ham subs, just got tackled by a cone. It was a bit awkward. And a story about the Kidderminster midfielder, Mark Carrington. Doesn't score many goals. Scored an absolute screamer. Top corner, 35 yards or so, against Chester earlier in the season in a 3-1 win. Went running over to the crowds and was celebrating wildly in front of one individual who was clapping almost reluctantly. Turns out it was his dad, who was pleased his son had scored. His dad, though, has always been a lifelong Chester City fan. So it was just an amazing moment. You can check it out on YouTube as well. We always hear about the giant killings on FA Cup weekend. We love those stories. But what's it like being the big team? What's it like rocking up at the lower league grounds, and which tricks do they play on their visiting giants to gain an advantage? Some of our ex-pros have been telling us what it's like to visit some of the smaller grounds across the country, and they've got some advice for West Ham too.
Hi, I'm Trevor Sinclair at Talk Sport, formerly a player of West Ham, Manchester City, and I've rocked up at some small clubs with a big team.
Hi, I'm Ray Parler. I went to plenty of small grounds in the FA Cup when I was at Arsenal.
Hi, I'm former Spurs midfielder Jamie O'Hara.
I'm Jason Cundy, former Chelsea defender. What are we talking about here, Jay? What's going on?
We're here to talk FA Cup, mate.
No, it's great. It's fabulous. But, of course, there has to be the big club going to the little club and experiencing what it's like down at the lower echelons.
Yeah.
I went to a lot of the lower division clubs, a lot of the dingy, small changing rooms. They're poor, they're tiny, they're cramped. So some of the other players, especially the boys that have come from the continent that were used to plush environments, it's a huge difference. I mean, listen, Di Canio, he would have been like, what the hell is this? You know, like looking around thinking, well, you know, you can't swing a cat in there.
I have a culture. I don't stop my culture. I speak with my body language sometimes.
Usually you've got heated floors at Highbury, and you know it's all very, very nice before a game, but it's like playing Sunday league football again.
There used to be cold water. You know, I'd go to Wimbledon, no toilet paper, Plough Lane. No toilet paper. Right? I mean, that's a bad stunt to pull. Yeah. Or what they would do, if the weather was hot, they'd turn all the pipes
Turn the heating up.
And you go in there, it's like a sauna.
Yeah.
You just can't wait to get out.
Mate.
Or it's freezing, and they make sure that the pipes are freezing.
Yeah.
So you go in there, and you're shivering.
2002 third round against Carlisle United. Obviously, it's their cup final, playing Arsenal. At the time, we were a very successful team. And Carlisle was superb on the day, they really was. I mean, I think they had about 7 or 8 shots on target to our one shot. Sylvain Wiltord scored the only goal of the game. And I remember at the final whistle, usually players are coming up to you to swap shirts, but they were so disappointed that they didn't get a result, at least get a draw to go back to Highbury. And you could see the devastation in their faces.
I think the worst one was when we got beat off Tranmere when I was with West Ham, and they scored off a set piece, a long throw.
Balls to Henry! You must feel like King Henry.
I remember towards the end of the game, got the ball, put it across the 6-yard box, and Rio had a clean shot, and he air-shotted it.
Can West Ham score? Oh, Ferdinand misses a sitter.
And then you're thinking, oh my God, it's not going to be our day. And it is so bad, and you just feel it, everything you try. The lads are in the right place, their heads are in the right place, but the crowd's all against, it just doesn't happen.
I played Enfield away, and I swear it was a man and his dog there, Cundy. It was embarrassing how bad it was. And they had a track round it as well, you know, so it felt like I was playing just in the middle of a cow's patch. I got sent off, and I walked, and the dressing rooms were like log cabins, you know? Like hut. It was like a hut. Not even any showers. I'm walking in, I'm thinking, I've gone from playing in the Premier League with Tottenham to getting sent off at Enfield away. And the worst thing is, my dad was at the gate, come over to me, he looked at me, and he just shook his head and went, where'd it all go wrong, son?
And National League North Kidderminster Harriers have put out Championship Reading in the FA Cup third round.
It's their big day, Kidderminster. You know, they're playing a Premier League side. It'll be a packed house. The surroundings won't be great for West Ham, but they've got to get on that pitch and prove that this is why we are in the Premier League.
The advice I'd give to the West Ham players was mentally get yourself in a position where you go into the game and you win it as early as you can. Get a 2-3-0 lead as early as you can, because if you don't do that and you give them a sniff of any kind of upset, they'll grow in confidence.
West Ham going to Kidderminster, right? Get your head right. Get your head right, because your head ain't right.
Yeah.
That's
they'll turn you over.
They if you're not right, that's the most important thing.
How good O'Hara and Cundy together. That O'Hara story about his dad shaking his head when he was sent off at Enfield. Superb. Regularly together on the sports bar on Talk Sport, 10 p.m. till 1 a.m. It's well worth a listen. After the football, they'll be taking your calls and they'll have a load of fun as well. Live trivia after midnight and all sorts of other stuff going on the sports bar on Talk Sport. For now, though, it's Saturday lunchtime. We're getting ready for a 12:30 kickoff. It's a classic FA Cup tie coming up live on Talk Sport as the West Ham players make their way into the dressing rooms here at Aggborough. And they're actually decent dressing rooms. They've been looked after, the West Ham players. I don't think they'll have any complaints about the welcome they've been given by their non-league rivals today, non-league opponents today. Kiddie players are still out there soaking up what is a brilliant atmosphere as we head up towards kick-off. Kidderminster against West Ham on Talk Sport.
Saturday afternoon, live, FA Cup football. Everton versus Brentford. Coverage from 2:30. Kick-off, 3 p.m. on TalkSport 2.
Will you join us for the crescendo of... It's ubiquitous, isn't it? We are 10 away from kick-off here at Aggborough for Kidderminster against West Ham. Let's get the latest odds with Betfair.
Game day on TalkSport with Betfair. Get daily rewards on football. Bet £20 worth of multiples or bet builders and get a £5 free bet. Terms and conditions apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
And it is a good lunchtime to Sam Rosbottom from Betfair. Kidderminster, West Ham. Let make a case for Kidderminster. I think we all want to see it. We all want to see him give it a good go. But West Ham simply have better players, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be honest with you, Adrian, though, I was a little disappointed that you didn't give us a rendition there of Sweet Caroline. I thought you were going to take it away for us all.
They wouldn't be singing so good after that.
Yeah, obviously, brilliant atmosphere at Kidderminster. They did knock out Championship side Reading in the last round, so they do have a bit of form for a giant killing. It is a tough ask today, though, against Premier League opposition West Ham. They're currently 19-1 to win in 90 minutes, the home side. West Ham, the Premier League team, look, they're really fancied on the exchange. No surprise. They're as short as 2-11 at the minute to get the win in 90 minutes, and they're drawing this one 15-2. Looking at a popular bet builder, Jared Bowen to score, West Ham to win, and over 2.5 goals in the game. That is coming out at around 7-5 when all three selections are combined in a bet builder over on the sportsbook. There's also another big game in the FA Cup taking place over at Stamford Bridge today. That'd be an incredible giant killing. The biggest outsiders of the day on the exchange of Plymouth, currently 74-1 to win in 90 minutes. Chelsea 1-20 on that one, and the draw 22-1. Look, some great FA Cup ties throughout the day. The Betfair boost for the day: West Ham, Everton and Southampton all to win in 90 minutes. That's now 11-4, and you can boost that further with the token in your bet slip as well.
Excellent stuff. Sam, thanks very much. That's all thanks to Betfair. You can get a £5 free bet when you bet £20 on multiples or bet builders with their daily rewards. Betfair, where you'll get no cash out suspensions on match odds and over or under goal markets on football. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Game day on TalkSport with Betfair. Bet with the cash out you can rely on this season with no cash out suspensions on match odds and over under goal markets. Exclusions and conditions apply. Selected markets. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Well, the multicoloured football match ball has been placed on the FA Cup plinth. We are getting ready. 8 minutes to kick off for Kidderminster against West Ham, and Alvin Martin has made his way up to the commentary box. And we spoke earlier, didn't we, Alvin, about 1994, how West Ham United came here 1-1-0. You were at the heart of the defence that particular afternoon. If I tell you that the Kidderminster striker Amari Morgan-Smith, the way it's been described to me is he chases after centre-backs when he's pressing and grunts at them, squeals at them, shrieks at them and screeches at them to put them off. Does it actually work against centre-halves?
Well, it might do the odd one here and there, but overall, I was the one doing the grunting and the greeting and the squealing and whatever it is. So, yeah, I'm sure, look, there's a bit of banter that'll be going on there today, Adrian. But, look, I feel like I did in 1994. If I was West Ham, I'll be thinking of, get down there, get the job done, get on the bus and get home.
Well, that's what they've got to do. They had a great run that year, and actually there's some serious connections between that run in 1994 for Kidderminster and this particular match, because they actually beat Golden Sullivan, and Brady was the new chief executive at that point, who rather unwisely in the build-up to the game said, "Who are Kidderminster?" Well, she soon found out. Then they beat Preston here 1-0. David Moyes was the captain, now of course the West Ham manager, and then West Ham came to town. They've been out here, the West Ham players, all sampling this atmosphere. Alvin, you've got to say the home fans are really cranking it up. It's a special atmosphere for a special cup tie. David Moyes has got to keep those players focused.
Yeah. Look, Adrian, the biggest thing, we're in a small ground here in comparison to what West Ham used to playing in. 60,000 people. And how many thousand here, Adrian? It's a tiny proportion of that. But I can guarantee you that when they get the first first corner or any semi-dangerous chance to deliver into the box for West Ham, there'll be a roar that goes up that it won't affect West Ham. What it will do, it will lift Kidderminster to new levels of performance. When you've got that sort of support, it does something to you. And that's what West Ham are going to have to contend with. Not sort of the effect on them, it's the effect on the opposition.
Well, Russell Penn has just emerged from the tunnel, the Kidderminster manager. He's still looking incredibly calm, but I think inside that edginess will be growing. I mean, he doesn't often walk out and there's cameras right in front of him, so that'll impact. And he's just turned around and Stuart Pearce was right in his face. Now, if that hasn't freaked him out, I don't know what will freak him out. I can tell you that Stuart Pearce, making his way up the stand to analyse the game, is actually going to a Stranglers concert tonight in Brixton. He knows how to compartmentalise, doesn't he? He knows how to box things off. I actually said to him, is that dependent on the result here? He said, no, why should it be? You've got to admire that attitude, haven't you?
Well, look, I think it is about attitude. I think that's the word today, isn't it? I bet you that's been mentioned a few times in the dressing room. It's all about your attitude. Get your attitude right, there's a good chance you're going to win this game.
I sent him a text yesterday, Adrian. I said to him, no extra time, please, mate, because I've got to get up to Liverpool for tomorrow's game. He said, I'm on the same page, fella. I've got to be away early. I've got to get to the Stranglers.
Well, I have tickets for tonight's gig. I've got to go to Liverpool, so I'm missing out. I'll find out from him what it was like. Declan Rice is sitting there on the subs bench. It's actually it's kind of carpeted. It's not cushioned, it's carpeted, the subs bench. So they're certainly looking after the England international, sitting next to Darren Randolph having a chat among the West Ham substitutes, and David Moyes will be hoping that he doesn't need to use him tonight. Mark Noble leads out his West Ham teammates as they enter the arena. Listen to that noise, the booing from the Kidderminster fans. Alex Kroll is getting a rare chance in the team. Big fuzzy hair leaping up in the air, heading an imaginary ball. The West Ham fans greet their heroes in front of them as they line up behind the Emirates FA Cup banner. Here come Kiddy. That's your noise pitch sides for Kidderminster Harriers, third in National League North as they take on West Ham United on TalkSport. Last season's beaten finalists Chelsea take on League One Plymouth live on TalkSport 2. That's going to kick off any moment. Just download the TalkSport app for free. Swipe left for TalkSport 2. Here on TalkSport, this is a special occasion. Privileged to be here. The FA Cup journey for Kidderminster Harriers started back in September. They played 8 ties on the road to this glorious occasion today. And they've also played 8 games in less than a month. West Ham have played half that, and they've just enjoyed a winter break as well. For so many reasons, if Kidderminster Harriers win this tie today, and it will be decided here today, it will be the greatest ever shock in FA Cup history. I can tell you firsthand from being at training yesterday, the management team and the players are ready. These fans right alongside me are ready. Kidderminster Harriers Football Club is ready. West Ham, are you ready for the magic of the Cup? Bring it on. 6th-tier Kidderminster up against Premier League West Ham with your commentary team live on TalkSport, FA Cup winner Alvin Martin and TalkSport's chief football commentator Sam Matterface.
Thank you very much, Adrian. Hello from Aggborough. Wherever you are in the world, let me bring you inside this small, neatly appointed arena at the southern end of Kidderminster, a market town in Worcestershire, 15 miles from Birmingham, where the Harriers have played for 132 years. Its 4 independent stands are packed with 5,000 thronging supporters, mostly locals, but infiltrated by a bit of claret and blue from East London too. It is a colossal home tie for the lowest ranked team left in the competition. Not since 1994 have they had a day like this. That day, West Ham came to town too. 115 places separated them at the start of the day, but the FA Cup is better at levelling up than most. Since they beat Reading, Kidderminster have won 5 of their 7 games. West Ham have lost their last 2. Now, before we start, everyone here at Aggborough will pay tribute to a young West Ham fan, Isla, who tragically lost her battle with cancer, aged just 7 years of age.
Recently learned of the tragic passing of young West Ham fan Isla Catter, who lost their battle with illness after a brave and dangerous fight. We also have players in attendance to join West Ham players and supporters and remember Isla's incredible life with a
John Moss, the referee, blows his whistle to signal the end of an impeccably observed minute's applause, and both sets of players burst away into their respective halves. Kidderminster Harriers in red shirts, red shorts, red socks, attacking the goal away to our right, where the West Ham fans are stationed behind, and West Ham United in light blue and white stripes with light blue shorts and white socks attacking the goal away to our left, the North Stand here at Aggborough. Right now on TalkSport 2, Chelsea take on Plymouth, whilst later their former manager Frank Lampard starts live with Everton as they take on Brentford. That game is only on TalkSport 2. Make sure you tune in for that. We've got so much football this weekend. You only need one thing to get you through: the TalkSport app. You can flick between the two stations and get all the action, including tonight's boxing involving Chris Eubank Jr. live from Cardiff. John Moss, our referee, just stations himself on the halfway line. The two sets of players are ready. West Ham with a strong team. And before we start, all 22 players take the knee as they ask for racial equality and social justice. Alongside me, a man who played in the game in 1994, Alvin Martin. Alvin, I mean, what advice would you give to the West Ham players coming here and playing on a very different stage?
I think it's all about the way attitude will keep springing up, Sam. But look, they are prepared. They've seen a lot of video, a lot of games, a lot of clips. They've done coaching seminars as they would with any opposition, so they know how good Kidderminster are. And look, this is a Kidderminster side who've got a fantastic crowd behind them, but they've been playing some good football. I don't care what level if you're playing games and you're winning, confidence starts to build and you feel really good about yourself. A game where you've got nothing to lose, everything to gain. That's what they're up against today, West Ham, and they'll be hoping, Sam, that they can get an early goal just to quieten the crowd down.
Rain has started to come down here, and a goal kick has been awarded away to our left-hand side. I'll go through the 2-11s for you in just a second, but they took an age over that right at the start, Kidderminster. Ball headed into the air by Penny, and won by Bowen, and then he angles the ball forward into Vlasic, who turns and finds Ben Rama, and West Ham looking to quickly get into their stride, just 5 yards outside the penalty area. The ball is sent over to the right-hand side. So West Ham with Areola in goal, Frederick, Zuma, Diop and Johnson. Noble, Kroll as the two holders in midfield. Then it's Yarmolenko, Ben Rama and Vlasic behind Bowen, who's playing as the false nine. For Kidderminster Harriers of the Conference League North, the ball is in their penalty area at the moment, and they've got Simpson in goal, Luke Simpson in goal, Alex Penny, Nathan Cameron and Matt Preston, Caleb Richards as the back four, Carrington and Bajrami in midfield, Hemmings, Austin and Sterling behind Morgan Smith in attack. The ball 10 yards inside Kidderminster Harriers territory. It's on the right hand side with Ryan Fredericks, who looks to throw the ball down the line. A deal for him expires at the end of the season. I think he was expecting to leave in the January transfer window, but there was a lot of inactivity at West Ham in the January transfer window. The ball goes up to Amari Morgan Smith, who has the ball just on the halfway line, loses it. Krull takes over, plays it wide towards the left, and it's touched on by Vlasic to Ben Johnson. Johnson approaches the Kidderminster Harriers penalty area. He's tackled by Hemmings, and it goes out for a throw-in level with the edge of the 18-yard box. The floodlights on here on a grey day in the West Midlands as the ball is picked up by Johnson, and West Ham coming forward again. A little bit stodgy, the pitch in that area down that left flank, and Johnson eventually manages to control it, gives it back to Noble, and then they're on their way again, West Ham, attacking the goal away to our left. The ball into the box by Vlasic, back in by Ben Rama. Johnson's not going to reach it, and it dribbles behind and away for a goal kick away to our left. We played 2 minutes. It's Kidderminster Harriers 0, West Ham United 0, and here's Alvin Martin.
I think from what I've seen of Kidderminster, they are a proper team, and by that I mean they work hard for each other. We've just seen an example of it there. Sam Hemmings, who's playing on the right hand side, he's not afraid to get back and help Penny, the full-back. Whenever it looks like you're going to get overloaded, so they play for each other, and once you've got that sort of commitment as a team, it makes you really collectively hard to beat.
Bowen gets the ball from Ben Rama and nudges it back into the central midfield position, where Captain Noble turns under pressure from Austin and sees it all the way back via Johnson to his goalkeeper Areola, away to our right hand side. West Ham, who narrowly lost against Manchester United, I think they felt as if that was a little bit hard done by. Not the first time they've been hard done by Manchester United this season in the Premier League. They beat them in the Carabao Cup. Here's Yarmolenko, tall and lean, and taking the ball down and out from the sky in the right wing position for West Ham, who have been on the attack from the first whistle here at Aggborough. And Yarmolenko trying to get a cross into the box, sends the ball back towards Fredericks, and then Fredericks, his cross takes a little nudge into the penalty area, and then it goes out towards this near side where Penny will retrieve it and clear it away. Oh, but it's not a great clearance. It's given straight to Johnson, left edge of the area. Ball into the box for Bowen, who takes a tumble after a collision with Cameron, and eventually, after looking up at the referee John Moss momentarily, it's cleared away by Kidderminster. But Noble's got it back again, and West Ham almost relentless at the moment, keeping the ball ticking over rather nicely. See it back to Issa Diop at the heart of the Hammers defence. 0-0 the score on FA Cup 4th round weekend. Chelsea against Plymouth is over on TalkSport 2 right now with Alex Crook and Sam Parkin. Away down the left-hand side, the ball just about kept in by West Ham, and Vlasic races into a left-wing position. He's got a few balloons to negotiate as he turns and plays it to the edge of the D. He gives it to Alex Kroll, who twists away from the challenge of Austin, goes back to the left, and now, once again, West Ham come on the attack. This is Ben Johnson moving forward from left full-back. Everybody apart from Diop is in opposition territory for West Ham, as the ball collected by Johnson, taken down the left, beats Penny, tries to get the cross in, Penny blocks it, goes out for the first corner of the game. Here's Alvin Martin.
Well, it's a bright start by West Ham, as you said, Sam. They've dominated the proceedings up to this point, and it shows that they're well prepared for the game. They know what to expect, and the tempo's very good.
Noble gets a short corner from Ben Rama, then travels towards the edge of the area, comes back to Johnson, who's going to hit one from distance. He lets one fly, but it sails over the top of the crossbar and goes into the north stand. I was mixing with a couple of supporters before the game, and they were quietly whispering to me that you should have been sent off during that game in 1994. Is that true?
Well, there was a case. There was a case for and against. I believe that there was somebody in close proximity that would have intervened if I hadn't made the challenge. But no, it was a foul that was given. And do you know what? We rode our luck a little bit that day. We did. There was a couple of chances that they had, Kidderminster, and we stuck our one away pretty late on. But there were uncomfortable times. This has been a fairly comfortable start to the game for West Ham, but I don't expect it to stay that way.
Russell Penn, who is the Kidderminster manager, was furious that TV companies hadn't selected their previous game against Reading for live TV coverage. It's live on the radio today. There's a few cameras here as well. The TalkSport microphone's very close to the pitch to pick up absolutely everything here at Aggborough, and they'll want to put on a real display. Penn very excited about the prospect of facing David Moyes, one of the best British managers in the Premier League, he said. He's such a fan, he wouldn't have wanted to face off against anyone else. The ball in the arms of Luke Simpson, the goalkeeper, and it has been for a few seconds. He hoists it into the grey sky and up towards Morgan Smith, who looks to flick it on. It's away by Diop, back forward again, down the left channel by Bajrami, might fall on the edge of the area for Austin, he shoots, it's saved down low by Areola. What a chance that was for Kidderminster Harriers, really well worked, up to the big van, knocked down into the path of Austin, and from 20 yards he cracked a shot goalwards.
And there you have it, really. A team that's well prepared in terms of West Ham. They've come here, they've had a very bright start, they've done everything right. But Kidderminster are clever. They're a very intelligent team, the way he sets his team up, Russ Penn. They wait, they don't get phased if they haven't got a lot of possession, but they wait for the opportunity, and that was a ball that was contested high up the pitch. They knew that they had to combat that and put pressure on the ball, and they were able to do it. And if anything, he hit it too well, didn't he, Sam? He struck it so well, it went like an arrow straight at the keeper.
Russ Penn was saying before the game, live on Talk Sport, we will have moments. Not many, they'll have more moments than us, but when we get our moments, we've got to make sure that we make it pay. Here is Vlasic, back to Noble, out towards the left, and Johnson trying to run into the left channel to scurry onto that ball, but out comes Simpson once again, the former Oldham, Accrington and York City goalkeeper, comes out and collects the ball. You know about goalkeepers because your son David is here today with West Ham United, but Luke Simpson doesn't cut his nails when he keeps a clean sheet, and they've kept quite a few in a row.
Touch of Howard Hughes about him now then, isn't it?
He was getting a little bit of stick from his teammates, and he said, look, when I save one in the last minute with my fingernails, you'll be happy about it.
That's an unfair advantage.
Here is Austin playing the ball wide to the right. Hemmings picks it up left-footed, drives the ball goalwards. Bit too close again to Areola, who just drops to his knees, all in dark blue, and sends the ball out to the right-hand side rather simply. But they've had a couple of sights of goal now inside the first 8 minutes here. It's still goalless.
I think Austin is somebody that I was looking forward to seeing. He's diminutive little figure, isn't he? Wearing number 7 for Kidderminster. He just sits high up the pitch and he waits. And he reads where the knock-ons are going to be, where the flick-ons are. And he's somebody that when he gets the ball and runs with it, he goes directly at the defender.
A local boy born in Stourbridge and just having to do his defensive duties now. And as they get back into shape, Preston comes across and nudges the ball out of play before Ben Rama can go on a drive down the left channel for West Ham United, and the Hammers win another corner. Premier League West Ham United 115 places above Kidderminster in the pyramid, dominating possession so far, but they've had their chances. Chelsea 0, Plymouth 1 over on Talk Sport 2. Yeah, you heard me right. Here is Noble down the left-hand side, still 0-0 here. Ball into the box, hits the chest of the defender and goes out for a corner. Chelsea 0, Plymouth 1 over on Talk Sport 2. Gillespie with the goal. Macaulay Gillespie.
Don't you just love the FA Cup, Sam?
I love the FA Cup. Ball played in towards Yarmolenko. Tries to turn. Can't quite get away from his marker, who is Badrami. Goes back to the edge of the area, and Ben Rama sizes up an opportunity. Jinks back on his left foot, then on his right. Then down the left to Yarmolenko. Gets some space. Cuts in. Fires goalwards. Blocked by Cameron. It's cleared away. Smuggled away. Brilliant defending by Kidderminster Harriers, who got numbers around the Ukrainian Yarmolenko, who somehow managed to cut his way into the box and craft an opening. Ball into the area by Noble is headed away by the big defender Preston, and it's collected on halfway by the giant Issa Diop. Good defending by Kidderminster. And also been a goal in the WSL. Flo Lloyd-Hughes is at Boreham Woods Meadow Park.
Yeah, we just nearly had a second one as well, but it's gone wide. It's Arsenal 0, Manchester United women 1, and it's a copycat of how Arsenal conceded a goal to Manchester United just a few weeks ago. It's an Alicia Russo header from a Katie Zellum corner. It's Arsenal 0, Manchester United 1.
The third there in the WSL today for Flo Lloyd-Hughes. Ball played out towards the left-hand side, collected by Morgan Smith for Kidderminster Harriers. He charges towards the box. A left-footed delivery is scooped away by Zuma on the edge of the 6-yard box and out to the far side and away for a throwing down by the corner flag.
See again, Sam, the way they sit, they soak up pressure, but when they get the chance to go forward, they commit really quickly to going forward, and they look dangerous.
Talk Sport, 0-0. And everybody inside this ground is gripped to the action. And the West Ham fans behind the goal, making their voices heard. Ball thrown in towards the near side of the penalty area. Morgan Smith manages to get it out towards the far side. Penny is underneath the cross, which is coming into the box, which is clutched from the sky by Areola. No problems for the West Ham United defence. So Chelsea 0, Plymouth 1 over on Talk Sport 2 with Alex Crook and Sam Parkin. And you can flick between the two stations if you've got our app. You can download it from the Google Play Store. You might need it a little bit later when you're out and about doing your Saturday night bits and pieces, because tonight we've got live big-time boxing from Cardiff. It starts here at 8 o'clock this evening. And we've got a highly anticipated fight. Liam Williams against Chris Eubank Jr. from the Motorpoint Arena in Cardiff. Adam Catterall, Gareth A. Davis, Andy Clark, Spencer Oliver, your team in the Welsh capital. And there'll be all the fallout to the weekend's action on TalkSport Breakfast on Monday. And we've got Laura Woods, Ali McCoy, Jamie O'Hara, and what a heavyweight show we've got, because joining them, Eddie Hearn, Jake Paul and Katie Taylor. Well, it's a heavyweight against the lightweight here, but there's nothing between them so far. It's Kidderminster 0, West Ham United 0 on TalkSport, thanks to Neutrogena T-Gel Therapeutic Shampoo. And after a difficult start in that they didn't have much of the ball, actually Kidderminster have started to forge a way into the tie.
That's right, they've grown into the game. They're the ones that probably got the shots on goal. So you know they've said it. He said it, didn't he, Russ Ben, in the interview prior to the game, that we will get moments, but I don't think he would have thought he would have had two better moments than West Ham.
Yep, and it's been a good start to the game. Ball taken out of the sky over on the left-hand side. Brushed off the ball was Amari Sterling, who joined us just after 11 o'clock on game day to talk about his duties for the day. He thought he was fouled there. He just turned to John Moss and asked for some sort of retribution for that. Moss shakes his head and says, play on. Ball is out over on the far side, and it will be a throw-in to be taken by Caleb Richards, the left full-back. Started out with Blackpool, did have a 35-game spell at the Tampa Bay Rowdies. It's slightly warmer there than it is here today. Issa Diop just getting in a little bit of trouble, being pressed from midfield by Carrington, picked up by Austin, who's won it back for Kidderminster Harriers down the left side. And here over on the far side is Sterling trying to get his way into the box, doesn't quite manage it. It's worked out wide instead, and now Austin with a chance to cross deep into the area, and before Hemmings can get on the end of it, it's glanced away by Johnson out towards the corner flag, and West Ham recover their faculties. But, you know, they're not quite happy to press high up the pitch and get involved and try and win the ball back inside West Ham United territory. Here's Noble in the centre circle, scooping it forward but falling before he can find a teammate, and it goes straight down the throat of Luke Simpson away to our left-hand side.
One thing is for sure, Sam, 40 minutes into the game, West Ham know they're only getting in a proper game, aren't they? And I like the way the look of this Kidderminster side. It's got an identity. It's obviously solid when it has to be defensively, but when it goes forward, Hemmings on one side, Sterling on the other, Morgan Smith big and strong up front, and Austin in behind him. It's got real look of offence, hasn't it? It really wants to get at the opposition. It's got pace, it's got a mixture of everything, and they keep the ball well. When they've had to, the first 10 minutes they didn't have much of the ball, but they didn't ever really look like they were going to give West Ham a look at their goal.
Yeah, part of their training ground that Adrian went to yesterday is the Samurai Judo Gym. And certainly they look as if they're up for the fight, Kidderminster Harriers. We played just over 15 minutes. You're listening to TalkSport. It's Kidderminster Harriers 0, West Ham United 0. We're at Aggborough, 4 independent stands, very close to the touchline. Alvin and I are sitting 10 rows from the touchline, right at the back of this main stand, with a couple of executive boxes behind us, and just a stone's throw from the dugout, our old mucker Stuart Pearce is 5 seats away to our left, analysing the game, well, I would say from on high, but it's not really, it's 6 rows back for David Moyes. And you get the real authentic football smell here. The waft of the hot dogs and the burger vans and the fried onions just keeps wafting past our nostrils here at this beautiful, quaint old ground, which has seen many a giant killing in the past. Well, let's see one today. It's Kidderminster Harriers who have the ball deep inside their own half. Alex Penny, who missed a couple of games with illness and returned against Gloucester last week, throws the ball down the touchline. It's a long throw which is aimed towards Hemmings. It's headed away by Ben Johnson in West Ham colours up to the halfway line, hooked forward by Bajrami, and then sent forward by Noble down the left-hand side. Scampering back to make sure that Bowen doesn't get there is Cameron, and it's shepherded behind and away for a goal kick away to our left-hand side.
West Ham have got Jared Bowen playing up front as a centre forward today, with Yarmolenko on the right, Vlasic on this left hand side, Ben Rama really being free to get on the ball wherever he can, but I can't remember anything really being played into Jared Bowen, and that tells you that at the moment West Ham aren't certainly having it all their own way. They started off really well, but they've lost the way a little bit in this last sort of 5-7 minutes.
Well, you mentioned it about the forward positions. That's certainly been forming the discontent from the West Ham United supporters, and there was a banner over on the right hand side that was unfurled earlier that said GSK out. Here is Hemmings moving towards the edge of the penalty area. West Ham fans unhappy about the lack of transfer activity in the window. They think that might hamper them going forward as far as the ability to challenge for the top 4 and maybe a trophy is concerned. They've still got Europa League football to play as well as being in this competition. Well, for now anyway. Ball played back towards Diop, and well, there was a challenge from Morgan Smith, who came back towards the ball late by Diop on Morgan Smith, and it was a little bit unsettling for West Ham. They've given away a free kick just a yard in from the touchline over on the far side.
It's the first foul of the game, really. He's a little bit fortunate to get away with a yellow there. But this is the first time we've seen them deliver in from any sort of dangerous area, Kidderminster, and this is a particular strength of theirs.
Yep. Worked on the set pieces at their training ground just down the road, and they have already just started to choreograph an opportunity here to try and pierce this West Ham United defence. 18 minutes in. Still 1-0 to Plymouth against Chelsea. Over on TalkSport 2. 0-0 here. A message goes on to Caleb Richards from the manager Russ Penn, who trots from one side of the pitch to the other and just trying to orchestrate things here. A free kick over on that far side to be taken by the free kick specialist, Sterling. Not sure he's going to go from that sort of range and try and score, but he's got his left hand in the air. He leaves it, then swings it in, right-footed, in towards the edge of the 6-yard box, comes back and it's smashed in by Penny, and Kidderminster Harriers lead against West Ham United. Alex Penny with the goal, a massive goal, and all of Kiddy get giddy, because they lead in the FA Cup against West Ham United, 115 places above them in the pyramid. They've taken the lead. It's Kidderminster Harriers 1, West Ham United 0.
I expected the delivery to be good, not that good. I don't know what he was doing there. He's come for the ball, Ariola. He's nowhere near that, because the delivery had quality written all over it. Then they get lucky. The ball bounces favourably for them. And you can't do anything about the finish. He strikes it really well.
7 yards out into the roof of the net, and Kidderminster Harriers of the National League North lead Premier League West Ham United by a goal to 0. What a brilliant delivery from the Kidderminster left, right-footed, arced in under the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper come but doesn't reach. Diop doesn't get there. It drops to Alex Penny and he smashes it home. It's his 5th goal of the season. I think it's the best goal he's ever scored.
Certainly the most memorable. But look, that's a dream start for them, isn't it, Kidderminster? They would have wanted to get that first goal.
And they're coming forward again. And Smith has helped the ball on towards the right-hand side, and across comes Austin. This time he's beaten to it by Johnson. And West Ham United, we said they knew that they were in a game. Well, now they've got to find a way to come back from a goal deficit against Kidderminster Harriers. Morgan Smith chases down into the left wing position. Across goes Diop and tries to hold him off and loses out. And Morgan Smith has beaten him and he's run into the penalty area. He tries to feed the ball into the path of Amari Sterling. Doesn't quite work out for him, and this time it's cleared away by Ariola. But Diop, well, he's having a really tough time. He was the one who gave away the free kick, and he's just been done by Morgan Smith. That player who likes to snarl and grunt and upset centre half seems to be doing the job against Diop.
Well, there's no doubt about it. This is a proper team. I'm surprised really with the qualities that they've got, and individually, not just collectively, but they're obviously well coached, and I think the manager must be delighted with the start they made. 21 minutes in, 1-0 up, and deservedly, I've got to say, deservedly 1-0 up.
Well, Kidderminster play in the Conference North, but Reading's players found out that they could be matched for talent, enthusiasm and craft. The consistency has been a bit of a problem for Kidderminster Harriers players at times over the course of the season. They weren't particularly good last weekend, but were brilliant again against Leamington in the week. And they are challenging at the top of that division for promotion to the National League. And even when they have conceded goals, especially in that game against Reading, the crowd here, the players, the coaching staff, their hopes were never dashed. And they seem to have an ability to shrug off setbacks as well, and there's no setback so far in this game. They lead West Ham United by 1-0, and the goal coming from Alex Penny, a man who had spells with Peterborough United and Hamilton Academicals, and scoring a goal in the FA Cup which will cause a stir and send shockwaves throughout the competition. West Ham win a throw deep inside Kidderminster territory. I mean, need a lot for West Ham now to regather their thoughts and just, calm things down and get back to playing some of the football they played in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, they've been able to get the ball, but it's not going anywhere, really. You've got Mark Noble and Kroll really just playing sideways, and they're happy with that Kidderminster. It's getting the ball into the wide players, Yarmolenko and Vlasic, Ben Rama just off Bowen. They're the sort of areas they've got to start to compete and certainly play with it with more ability in terms of getting the match winners onto the ball.
1-0 to Kidderminster Harriers, live on Talk Sport and Talk Sport 2. It's Chelsea 0, Plymouth 1. In the WSL, Manchester United lead Arsenal by 1-0 away at Meadow Park. And later on today, more live football, of course, throughout the course of the day. Burnley-Watford a little bit later on Talk Sport from 6 o'clock in the Premier League, the only Premier League game of the weekend. And before that on Talk Sport 2, it's Everton against Brentford. We're round the grounds at 2:30 as well, keeping you up to date with all the goals as they go in as far as the Premier League, the FA Cup and the EFL are concerned. Luke Simpson, the goalkeeper, smashes the ball over the halfway line for Kidderminster. Down the right, it's flicked on by Penny, the goal scorer. Looking for Morgan Smith, doesn't quite reach it, away by Zuma. It drops in midfield. Ben Rama tries to bring it out the sky, does. Twists away from 3 red shirts, feeds Bowen. Bowen trying to use his back to shield the ball, but Badrami has nabbed it, and now Hemmings is running towards the West Ham goal. He's gone through the legs of Diop, and then he thinks he was fouled. He was, and John Moss is giving another free kick. And this is certainly in Amari Sterling range.
Well, they are certainly up for the fight, aren't they? I think the crowd have been treated to a fabulous start by Kidderminster. They've got themselves 1 goal up, and this is an area that will certainly concern West Ham. It's a perfect position to place a ball down for a free kick.
And Ashley Hemmings just looking as if he needs a little bit of treatment. Alex Penny comes over towards the near side, has a word with Russ Penn, who's just giving him a bit of direction about what he wants from his fullback. The score, Kidderminster Harriers 1, West Ham United 0 on TalkSport thanks to Neutrogena T-Gel Therapeutic Shampoo. Free kick then to be taken just back from the edge of the D. It's right of centre. And Amari Sterling standing over it once more. He was the one who delivered the ball into the box, which caused real grief for West Ham United earlier in the game. 1-0 Harriers lead. What can Amari Sterling come up with here? He's got a 5-man West Ham United wall to beat. The 10-yard mark has been marched down. He steps up, right-footed, sends it round the wall, and it was so very close to kissing the outside of the post. And Ariola just looked to his left as it fizzed beyond him and into the advertising board away to our right-hand side. But it was a dangerous free kick, executed well, but just slightly off target from Amari Sterling.
Well, it was one that Ariola could only watch. If that's inside the post, he ain't getting anywhere near it. You can see the technique was perfect. He had very little backlift. The ball went over the wall, and he had lots of power on it. So again, it's another warning really to West Ham: do not give cheap free kicks away in that area.
Kidderminster and their supporters certainly enjoying the afternoon. Harriers are massive everywhere they go is the chant that has caught on during this FA Cup run, and it has been an FA Cup run, by the way, because they started a long time ago trying to go through into the preliminary rounds of the FA Cup. Just to get into the first round was an achievement. To get to the fourth, that's something spectacular. Here is Bowen taking the ball out of the sky. I don't know what word you would use for taking the lead against West Ham United. Here's Fredericks into the area, tries to get a cross in, good defending by Preston, and he kicks it right over the top of the north stand and into the car park behind the ground.
Well, I think at the moment you're looking at 26 minutes in, Sam, and you start to look at a team like Kidderminster, you think, okay, what have we got? Well, they've got a back four that looks solid. They haven't really been able to make the keeper make a worthwhile save yet. They've got forwards who are willing to chase, and they've got midfielders who technically know how to keep the ball. And they've got a manager that's certainly got them well organised, that is for sure.
West Ham very good at set pieces, and are just trying to craft an opportunity here, just conjure something away to our left. Jared Bowen is standing over it. There's 2 players right on the goal line. John Moss, the referee, has just gone behind the goal to pick up a loose match ball, which was right behind Luke Simpson's goal away to our left-hand side. It's a congested penalty area, and here comes Bowen with the delivery over on the far side. Left-footed, sends the ball deep into the box, and it's headed into the air by a red shirt. It was a good header by Amari Morgan-Smith, and it comes out to the far edge of the penalty area, and Luke Simpson goes across and grabs it. And Kidderminster beat Leamington in the week 3-0. They haven't conceded a goal since they lost away at Hereford on the 18th of January. That was 5 games ago.
That's a worrying stat from West Ham's point of view, that is for sure. But look, you know, it's about really showing the experience and intelligence to think, okay, well, we're 1-0 down. We've got plenty of time to get back. But they certainly have to figure a way of getting the ball to some of the talent they've got up front here, West Ham.
Chelsea 0, Plymouth 1, Kidderminster 1, West Ham 0 here. Arsenal 0, Manchester United 1. I mean, even if you just had a bet on Plymouth and Kidderminster to score the first 2 goals in those games, you would be a millionaire now, I would have thought. Here is Vlasic down the left-hand side, charging towards the penalty area. He takes on Alex Penny, the goal scorer. Can't quite get away from him, but eventually produces a cross which is too high for Yarmolenko. Goes behind the Ukrainian international, and it's out over on the far side. And away for another goal kick. West Ham United usually don't have too much of a problem scoring goals. And they failed to register at Old Trafford last time out, but that is the only time in 8 matches that has happened since 3 games without a goal in December. Jared Bowen and Manuel Lanzini both on the score sheet as West Ham beat Leeds in the previous round of the FA Cup by 2-0. And they're going to need to find a goal from somewhere if they're not to be eliminated from this year's competition, because they trail here surprisingly somewhat by 1-0, but not undeservedly.
They've got a look of calmness about them as well, Kidderminster. I've got to say, you know, they've scored the goal. Sometimes, you know, you can get a rush of adrenaline, and everyone starts running around. But look, there's a thought to what they're doing. You know, there's a composure to their play. I've been really impressed. You know, you don't expect to see a non-league side having this sort of control.
Yeah, well, it's their 7th round of the FA Cup. Even if West Ham reach the final, there'll only be 6 for them to play in. They've got quite a lot of experience in this competition so far this season. Kidderminster Harriers, who launched the ball down the right touchline through Penny, looking for the run of Hemmings, who's challenged by Zuma. It comes off a Kidderminster shirt last and goes out for a throw in the left full-back position. Game Day Live with Dan Windle, Mickey Gray, David Connolly and Darren Ambrose is on at 2:30. And Dan's going to be at Selhurst Park with all the goals as they go in from the FA Cup 4th round of the EFL, including Manchester City, Fulham, Crystal Palace, Hartlepool. It's a big game. Jeff Stelling was on the Weekend Sports Breakfast this morning speaking to Natalie and Cass. And Southampton against Coventry, also one of our featured games this afternoon. Burnley-Watford is 6 o'clock. Baker others in the chair. Dance and Trevor Sinclair bringing you live commentary. It's only on Talk Sport. The first sighting of Wout Weghorst possibly today. I mean, not a real first sighting. I mean, you can see him from anywhere. He's about 900 foot tall. Here is Ben Rama for West Ham United, playing the ball forward and looking for the run of Bowen. It's headed away by Preston, who's all action. He's earned his place in the team since joining the club. Ball sent down the left-hand side, and Morgan Smith is chasing after it. And Diop again is just unsettled. He doesn't look in great form, does he?
Well, I've got to say that he doesn't look a nice person to play against, Morgan Smith. He's a nuisance to a centre-half, and he's willing to chase, but he's intelligent in the challenges and the battles he wants to try and win.
The other 2 games from the FA Cup, by the way, on TalkSport 2 today. We've got Everton Brentford at 3 and Tottenham against Brighton. That's 8 o'clock. It's at the same time as the boxing's on TalkSport. Ball is bouncing around inside the West Ham penalty area. It's hooked away by Fredericks, flicked further away by Noble, but then one back by Bajrami. And then briefly they had possession of the ball, Kidderminster Harriers, but they've surrendered it, and skating away to the halfway line is Ben Rama, who's being chased out by Matt Preston. What brilliant defending by the centre half. Tall, muscular, lean, comes out and smashes the ball out for a throw-in in the right full-back position away to our right-hand side. Such a good bit of defending. You'd been proud of that.
It was a throwback to the old times, that, wasn't it, Cor? You can tell he enjoyed it as well, didn't he?
Everyone enjoyed it. Well, apart from the West Ham supporters who have made the journey from London. Here's Noble, deep inside his own half. playing the ball out wide towards the right-hand side, and Diop, then back to Noble again. West Ham trying to get a measure of control in the game after their setback. They succumbed to the opening goal thanks to Alex Penny. Delivery into the box which wasn't defended at all well, and Penny smashed it into the roof of the net to give Kidderminster Harriers of the National League North a lead in this game. Ball down the right for West Ham to chase. Fredericks launches the ball into the area. Well, I say he launched it into the area. He didn't go anywhere near the area. He went through the area and over the top of the stand away to our left and into that car park, who's now got 2 balls.
Yeah, I think they need to get themselves sorted out. I think Mark Noble's starting to communicate, and there has to be a better communication around the team, really. A bit more subtlety, certainly more thought about what they're trying to achieve. They're trying to get the full-backs forward without really good enough possession in the middle of the park.
They don't have a great record in the FA Cup, West Ham United. Manchester United knocked them out last season. The season before, West Ham went out in the 4th round to West Brom. The year before, in 2019, they went out to AFC Wimbledon. And the year before that, it was Wigan. It's not the most inspiring FA Cup CV, is it? Kroll sends it into the air. Noble tries to head it down. It's picked up by Sterling, who tries to get it out towards this near side, doesn't quite reach it, and Hemmings takes over and travels down the touchline, looks to get beyond Vlasic, and Johnson almost scooted in between the 2 of them, but Johnson was alert and manages to clear off Hemmings, and it's out for a throw-in deep inside West Ham territory in the left full-back position. But they are a handful coming forward.
Well, Sam, there's 33 minutes gone on the clock, and I can say that maybe 8 minutes of that 33 would have been enjoyed by West Ham's team, but I don't think the remainder would have, since they've lost the control in the game. They're a goal down now, and at this moment in time don't show any signs of really threatening Kidderminster's goal.
Well, one of the major tenements of Russ Penn's game plan was not letting his side get embarrassed. I think whatever happens now, that isn't going to be the case. I mean, he said he didn't want whatever happens here today to damage their confidence, but they've been a lot more competitive than many people would have thought, I think. When you look at the football pyramid, 115 places between them, it sort of smacks of David versus Goliath, but, this has been more than level during the course of the game. Chelsea 0, Plymouth 1 over on TalkSport 2, and in the WSL it's still Arsenal 0, Manchester United 1 10 minutes before half time, and it's 1-0 to Kidderminster Harriers against West Ham here, live on TalkSport. The ball is with Alex Kroll, just trying to turn and play the ball through the centre circle to Issa Diop. Diop plays it wide to the right, collected now by Fredericks back to Issa Diop, who, when he's got time on the ball, he's quite comfortable rolling it around, but when Amari Morgan-Smith has been ratting around his ankles, he's been flustered and flummoxed. Zuma, under pressure from Austin, plays it to Ben Rama. Down the left it goes. West Ham trying to come on the attack. Johnson's ball into the boxes, aimed towards Yarmolenko, who goes up into the air to try something spectacular, but it's cleared away by Caleb Richards out to the far touchline, and then Sterling slipping, can't get it clear, and has given it to Fredericks, and now Bowen takes over. Noble midway inside opposition territory, wide on the right, tries to feather it down the touchline, but it's cut out by a combination of Sterling and then cleared away by Austin up over the halfway line. It bounces deep inside West Ham territory, and they look to build from the back again. 1-0 Harriers.
Kidderminster are keeping a line. It's the correct line. They're not sitting too deep. They're not coming out too far and leaving too much space behind them. They've got the perfect line most of the time.
West Ham on the attack with the Croatian Vlasic. Fees Johnson. His right-footed cross into the box isn't cleared by Preston very well, but it has worked its way to Hemmings on the near touchline. And he, at pace, moves down towards the halfway line before checking back and feeding Penny. He lifts the ball high into the air, looking for Morgan-Smith, who's bullying and bruising Kurt Zuma now. He's chosen a different angle of attack, and then the ball is switched out towards the left, and Caleb Richards can't quite keep it in, and it goes out for a throw-in, just 6 or 7 yards short of the halfway line on the West Ham United. Right, what's David Moyes going to do at half-time? One of the things that Russ Penn said to us in his interview live on TalkSport at 11:30 this morning was that he was frightened by the bench. So they do have resources on that.
But that'll be a last resort really for David Moyes. You know, he won't want to resort to that and use that until he's absolutely necessary. But look, you know, a goal can turn the game.
And here they come, trying to carve one out now as Ben Rama goes into the area. Preston standing firm again. I mean, he's a huge character, Preston, but I mean, so far he's had the measure of all the West Ham forwards. He's given away a corner away to our left-hand side, and Noble trotting across to take it. Ben Rama is in close proximity. Can West Ham conjure something before we get to the break here? It's taken short to Ben Rama. On the left as West Ham look at it. Back to Noble. Noble hesitates, plays it across the box towards Johnson, who's maybe 10 yards outside it, just left of centre. And then Fredericks takes over. Fredericks, all the action for West Ham coming outside the area. They haven't really tested Luke Simpson in the entirety of the game so far. And that's a poor ball played by Johnson across the face of his own goal, really, but on the halfway line. It goes all the way out of play on this near side, and David Moyes just turns around and says something to Noble. Noble says, "What?" And not a few words exchanged between the two. Everyone looks a little bit grumpy, and it's away for a throw-in to the home side, who lead.
What West Ham can't do at the moment, they can't get the ball into to Ben Rama, to Vlasic, Yarmolenko, in areas that you know, they're in between the back line at Kidderminster and their midfield three. They just can't do that. The spacing that the Kidderminster have got is making it incredibly difficult, but they've got to find a way. It means that Ben Rama and Yarmolenko and Vlasic have got to put themselves in a position where they're in congested areas, but they're good enough to receive a ball there. That's why they're better players. That's why they're Premier League players, because they've got the ability to do that. But at the moment, they're not being able to get them balls in them areas, and that's why they're looking so secure, Kidderminster.
Badrami, who graduated from the Birmingham Academy and has been the captain of the Albanian under-21 side, sends the ball forward. It's picked up now by Morgan Smith on this right-hand side. It's back to Carrington, who clips it over the top, and Zuma's got to deal with Morgan Smith, and Morgan Smith was a real bruiser there. He went in head first, said, "I'm going to have that." Zuma stood up to the task, but has conceded a corner.
Again, it's displaying all different aspects. When they've got to battle, they battle. When they've got to get the ball down and take a responsibility for it, they've done that as well. And they've certainly got individuals that have caught the eye. You know, the two wide players have got lots of pace for Kidderminster. And Morgan Smith up front is a real leader of the line.
Here is the corner to be taken by Hemmings. Left-footed, drilled in towards the box at the back post. The Kidderminster Harriers player wins the first header. In fact, it was Cameron who jumped up high but couldn't direct the header goalwards, and it goes behind and away for a goal kick. There's a lot of shaking of heads from the West Ham United back line.
Yeah, they're rattled. There's no doubt about it. They're rattled. And the worrying thing there were two Kidderminster players fighting to get on the end of that ball. In the end, they got in each other's way.
Now, it's never easy, the path, the road to Wembley. You have to jump over all sorts of hurdles. West Ham United certainly have, I think, got an idea that they want to compete for trophies this season. That dream of lifting a trophy again. Haven't done it for a very, very long time. Here is Ben Rama trying to chase down the left channel. Out comes Simpson and gathers the ball into his chest and clears. Robin Martin was in the team the last time they won the FA Cup, 1980. Seems a long time ago now.
It does seem a long time ago. Look, Sam, it's ridiculous that a size, the club of West Ham hasn't won an FA Cup in that amount of time. And I do believe that this squad and the club is in a position where if it was to lift the FA Cup or something like that, it could lead to great things. It's really important this season for West Ham.
Do you think that actually the owners have made a mistake by these bids that might not have been bids, that seemed to be bids that didn't really generate anybody actually coming to the club, has actually deflated the mood around the place further after two back-to-back defeats? That they need a lift in that January transfer window?
No, not really. I don't think so. I think the main thing is getting the right business done at the right time. That's the important thing. I think if they were just bids and they weren't meant and they maybe knew they were going to get knocked back, look, David Moyes would know that, and David Moyes has come out in full support of the board, so I think they are together on the same hymn sheet.
Well, I know the fans are not entirely happy with what happened over the course of that transfer window. They felt that it was a team that needed a lift during that January transfer window. It didn't get one. Chelsea have got a lift over on TalkSport 2. Cesar Azpilicueta, the Chelsea captain, scoring a goal after Mason Mount created the opportunity for him. It's 1-1 over on TalkSport 2 between Chelsea and Plymouth. Here it is 1-0 to Kidderminster Harriers. Offside flag is up against I think it's Yarmolenko over on the far side. The ball went in from Ben Rama, and a free kick has been given to the home team, who look in control of the game at present. And I don't think there was many people that would have been suggesting that when we kicked off here at 12:30.
I think the worrying thing for West Ham fans, you know, listening, watching, certainly being here at the game, is since they took the lead, they've looked really assured. They've looked like a team that, you know, feel that they can't just go on and look at one goal. They're looking at getting another one as well. So when they've got the opportunity to get people forward, Sam, they take it. They take the opportunity.
Here is Caleb Richards getting it back to his goalkeeper, but there was a foul by Carrington on Vlasic just prior to that, which has cost Kidderminster Harriers the possession of the football and a free kick just short of the halfway line. I mean, I'm just trying to look for the statistics actually to tell me how many shots on goal that West Ham United have had in the game, but I can't remember a single one on target. Just looking at the statistics now, no shots on target for West Ham against a National League North side. I don't think David Moyes is going to be too happy with that. Here is Fredericks drifting the ball forward, headed away by Penny, and once again Kidderminster Harriers regain possession. Hemmings is allowed to travel with the ball down the side of the centre circle. He plays it into the centre circle, and Carrington taking over on the far side. The ball is picked up by Amari Sterling. He looks for the run in behind of Caleb Richards, but didn't quite work out, and it's cleared away by West Ham and up towards the halfway line. Back with interest by Cameron, flicked on by Morgan Smith, who is a real handful, isn't he? And he's absolutely everywhere. 32 years of age. He played for Luton and Stockport and Cheltenham and York, and he almost got on the end of a back pass there to interrupt West Ham United's flow once again.
I think he's important as well because he has to have he's the one that instigates the press, and if he gets that wrong, then the whole team's at 6s and 7s. But he's intelligent enough to know when to push.
Madrami nips in ahead of Kroll. The ball breaks in midfield for Kidderminster Harriers, who win it back again. West Ham unsettled, ruffled, can't quite find their rhythm here down at Aggborough. Across comes Vlasic to dispossess Hemmings. It works its way to Ben Rama, into Kroll now, and the Czech international tries to drift out towards the left-hand side, where it's collected by Ben Rama. Back to Krull again. He clips the ball into the box. It goes over the head of everyone. Fredericks is joining. He's being marshalled by Sterling over on the far side. He's driven out of the box and then has to attack again by going back to Noble. Noble into Bowen, and Noble doesn't get on the end of Bowen's ball back. It wasn't a great ball by Bowen. Back into the feet of his captain. It comes to Ben Rama, who shoots from distance, and everyone inside Aggborough is happy about that, because he was 30 yards from goal, and in the end, after shooting the ball towards Luke Simpson's net, he was 30 yards wide of it.
Yeah, I think both Ben Rama and Johnson have tried that one, haven't they? And both had the same result, where it's gone high, wide of the target. But they're the only two shots I can remember.
Now the sun starts to peer out from behind the grey clouds here in Worcestershire, and the fourth official comes over towards the near touchline to tell us how many minutes are going to be added on at the end of the first 45. He's having a little bit of trouble programming the board at the moment, so we haven't got a definitive. In fact, he can't work it out. Just a little shift and a turn. No, he's going to give up. No, can't do it. He's looking at his watch instead. Ball thrown in down the touchline, and West Ham have the ball once again. He's giggling about it, but no one seems to know how many minutes are going to be added on. You can just use your fingers, pal. It's fine.
Can't be guess it.
What do you reckon? 3?
I don't think it's even that. Has there been a hold-up? 1. Go for 1.
Also, Kidderminster will hope that it's 1. He's still looking at his watch, the fourth official, and communicating with John Moss, the referee. He's looking over as to say, what's the matter with your ball? Do you not charge it up? Change the batteries. Don't worry about it. We'll call time. What a fantastic first half by Kidderminster Harriers of the National League North. 6th tier. They dismissed Championship Reading in the last round. and they are causing Champions League chasing West Ham United all sorts of trouble. Alex Penny with the goal. In truth, they had all of the best chances in that first half. West Ham United, dreadful. What a second half we have in store at Aggborough. Kidderminster Harriers 1, West Ham 0.
What a first half. I'm now back in the stands. I've been sitting next to Roger as a Kidderminster fan all first half. You've been running me through the first half, educating me. By the way, how long have you been coming here, Roger?
About 40 years.
Whoa, how good was that first half?
It was as good as any I've seen, really, from Harriers. They played much the better football. I thought West Ham were very solid at the back, but no, I think Harriers well deserved it. After the first 10 minutes, where they were a little bit nervous, when they realised what they were up against, I thought they'd give a really good shot. I'm very pleased for them.
Fantastic analysis of the first half. You did come up with a line towards the end of the first half. There was a ball ballooned out of play, and you said it more like Telford United than West Ham United.
Yeah, definitely. West Ham looked, as I say, very, very ploddy at the back. But for Noble, it didn't look as though they could play a ball out of the back at all. Because Harriers were building very, very well. Midfield was great, and they really took the game to them, and hopefully we shall have a good second half.
Well, you keep clean sheets regularly, Kidderminster Harriers.
Yeah.
And West Ham have shown nothing so far, have they?
Well, it's nothing. They haven't had one shot on goal. Not one on target. Harriers had 2 or 3 other good chances, so hopefully we'll continue.
Roger, I'm so looking forward to sitting next to you second half. It's going to be great. I get my running commentary. Roger, I'll let you go off and get a cup of tea. Amazing first half for Kidderminster Harriers. 1-0 they lead live on TalkSport. Yes, do not adjust your radio set. 1-0 non-league. Kidderminster Harriers lead against Premier League West Ham United. Let's get half-time in the WSL at Meadow Park. Flo Lloyd-Hughes.
Half-time here, it's Arsenal 0, Manchester United 1. Manchester United lead through an Alicia Russo header on the 10th minute. A Katie Zellum corner was swung in, and Russo headed it past Zinsberger in the Arsenal goal. It's a real copycat of the goal that Arsenal conceded against Manchester United just a few weeks ago in the quarter-final of the Conti Cup. It's the third set piece that Arsenal have conceded in 4 games, so they really need to work on that defensively. They have had a few good chances. Viviana Miedema's shot was tipped onto the bar by Mary Earps, and Tobin Heath had a lethal shot that was just over the bar as well. Arsenal faded away a little bit towards the end of the first half. They still do look strong on the attack, but Manchester United are good value for their lead. As it stands, Manchester United will go into second with this victory, just right behind Arsenal. They'll be 2 points behind Arsenal, but they would have played ahead of Chelsea facing Manchester City tomorrow. So it could make a real difference as the table looks at the end of this game. But at the moment, it's Arsenal 0, Manchester United 1.
Chelsea Man City is live commentary on TalkSport 2 tomorrow from the WSL. The other FA Cup tie ongoing right now, live on TalkSport 2. Well, Plymouth took the lead. Chelsea, though, have equalised, and that's the half-time score. Chelsea 1, Plymouth 1. That's on TalkSport 2. You can download the TalkSport app for free. Swipe left for TalkSport 2 if you want to listen to that. I'm pretty sure you might want to stay with this one because we have the ultimate FA Cup tie. 4th round day. Kidderminster, non-league, lead West Ham United by a 1-0 live on TalkSport.
FA Cup game day. It's where the goals go.
What an outstanding goal!
This is FA Cup game day.
That goes in!
On Talk Sport.
Well, the Kidderminster crowd here at Aggborough went wild at half-time. I think there's a little bit of shock now. People are just taking in what they've seen in that first half. Kidderminster pretty much bossed it. They looked really good as the half wore on. Got better and better, in fact. They lead 1-0. Kidderminster 1, West Ham 0. Second half coming up live on Talk Sport. Now at 3 p.m. on Talk Sport 2, Frank Lampard takes charge of his first match as Everton manager. His side hosts Brentford at Goodison Park, 4th round of the Cup. But despite being the fans' choice over Vitor Pereira to replace Rafa Benitez, Lampard's credentials have been questioned since his appointment. Here's a man who knows him well from his Chelsea days. Talk Sport's Jason Cundy to tell you why Frank Lampard does deserve the chance to manage another top Premier League side.
Very excited. It's a huge honour for me to represent and manage a club with the tradition, the size of Everton Football Club.
You're giving him the job because it's Frank Lampard.
I think Frank Lampard's very lucky.
What has Frank Lampard done in a managerial sense that should link him to the Everton job?
He's the manager with a silver spoon in his mouth.
There's no doubt Frank Lampard is dividing opinion, but wow. The manager with a silver spoon in his mouth? Cass, come on, mate. That is a bit harsh. So, does your career as a player count for nothing? 3 Premier Leagues, 4 FA Cups, 2 League Cups, a Europa League, and of course, the Champions League. If that's the case, what did Zinedine Zidane do to deserve the Real Madrid job? Pep Guardiola only managed Barcelona B. Yes, success as a player doesn't necessarily make you a great manager. But what do you want him to do? Start down in League One?
But he will go right to the very top. Right to the very top.
Uncle Harry saw it early with Lampard. He had the mentality to succeed as a player, and I believe that drive will push him to succeed in management. Listen, Frank doesn't need this. He wants it. He wants the challenge. And don't forget, he was only 90 minutes away from the Premier League.
For Derby County, it is playoff disappointment, playoff despair, yet again.
Here's defender Curtis Davies, who played under Frank at Derby.
Very big on discipline, and I think, as a manager, when you first come in, you want to lay down the law, basically, and it wasn't a power play as such, because Frank as a player has that aura anyway, but he wanted to get discipline and have a disciplined squad, and therefore if he gets a disciplined squad off the pitch, he feels to get it on the pitch.
An easy streak for Chelsea on the final day. Frank Lampard has got the job done. They've charged into the Champions League for next season.
So in his first season, achieving Champions League football was, I thought, brilliant. He lost his best player in Eden Hazard. There was a transfer embargo. He had to integrate some of the younger players. In his second season, things started really well. Chelsea were top of the Premier League going into December. He got Chelsea out of the group into the knockout stage of the Champions League as well. But a month later, things started to get a bit messy.
There was lots of wrongs that were happening behind the scene. It was quite clear. Petr Cech had to intervene with problems with players, certain individuals that weren't being spoken to and didn't feel they were being treated right. There was issues over transfers, over wanting, always wanting Declan Rice. I think they wanted Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang as well at a certain time. Really expensive signings that Chelsea didn't want to do. So there was conflict within the Chelsea camp.
Strong stuff there from TalkSport's former Chelsea striker, Tony Cascarino. That's about off the field.
The problem is all inside your head, she said to me.
On the field, things started to go wrong. Set pieces, defensively, Chelsea weren't great, and some of the performances were dreadful. In particular, Fulham away against 10 men. It took a late goal from Mason Mount to get 3 points. Things started to go wrong, and rumours were around that Frank was about to lose his job. I felt he could have had a little bit longer, but the hierarchy decided enough was enough.
Chelsea Football Club have today parted company with head coach Frank Lampard.
I think I'm a person that always reflects, and it's good to reflect, but it's also good not to over-reflect, because some things you did well.
I'm gonna clear out my head.
Frank's backroom staff for Everton looks very different to what it did at Chelsea. Jody Morris is no longer there. He's got Joe Edwards, who he took to Derby, and also back to Chelsea as well. He's brought in Ashley Cole. Duncan Ferguson is still there, and Paul Clement, who worked along Ancelotti at PSG and Real Madrid. It's a very different and more experienced-looking backroom staff. There were definitely times at Chelsea where it showed that Frank had a lack of experience in his number 2 to change a game. At Everton, it feels like he's got that right. My only concern for Frank is, if he doesn't succeed at Everton, where does he go from here?
I'm gonna clear up my
Everton against Brentford, FA Cup 4th round. Frank Lampard's first game in charge, live on TalkSport 2 this afternoon. Same time on TalkSport, round the grounds with all the goals. Your usual Saturday service. In charge at Selhurst Park will be Dan Windle. Always exciting FA Cup weekends, and this 4th round one. Wow, Middlesbrough winning at Man United. Kidderminster one up here. Plymouth led and are now level at Chelsea. It's been brilliant so far, Dan.
Hey, very good afternoon. I see you're enjoying yourself at Aggborough just like I did a few weeks ago. It's a wonderful ground, a wonderful experience, and I'm hoping for a similar one here this afternoon at Selhurst Park. League 2 side Hartlepool United bringing 4,700 of their supporters. Early rise this morning down from the northeast to the south of London to enjoy their day, and a wonderful touch from Crystal Palace, offering to subsidise travel costs for Hartlepool fans that have travelled on the official team coaches, the club coaches today, and they'll be hoping they travel back later tonight with a result to cheer. You never know in the FA Cup. We're seeing it with Kidderminster, Plymouth doing well at Stamford Bridge, Borough wonderful last night at Old Trafford. We'll wait and see, but we are expecting Crystal Palace, Patrick Vieira, who took the 3rd round very seriously at Millwall, to play a similar, very strong side from 3 o'clock this afternoon.
Yeah, FA Cup winner in his time. Dan, thanks very much. That's on TalkSport, around the grounds with all the goals in the FA Cup 4th round and in the league as well. Later this evening, Spurs Brighton commentary in the FA Cup. TalkSport, that's an 8 o'clock kickoff. And that's not all. Premier League commentary at 6 on TalkSport of a massive relegation clash. Burnley taking on Watford. And at 5:30 on TalkSport 2, commentary of a big one in the Championship as Blackburn go to Swansea. Remember, tomorrow I'll be at Anfield as TalkSport's build-up begins at 11 ahead of Liverpool against Cardiff. Kickoff at 12. TalkSport 2, what a game in the WSL. Chelsea Man City, commentary from 12:30. And then back to the FA Cup on TalkSport in the afternoon for a 4 o'clock kickoff tomorrow. Forest against the holders, Leicester City. Let's get stuck into this second half. West Ham are out there already. Here come the officials. Here come Kidderminster as well, making West Ham look ordinary in that first half. Penny on the money. Kiddy 1, Hammers 0. Alvin Martin won the FA Cup with West Ham for the second half commentary. He's alongside TalkSport's chief football commentator, Sam Matface.
And Declan Rice and Craig Dawson have been called into action for the second 45. Adrian, no surprises really that Alex Kroll and Issa Diop have been replaced. What do you think of the changes, Alvin Martin?
Well, I think it was a really poor first half for West Ham. Kidderminster, fantastic. And I think there was a lack of experience or certainly leadership within the team for West Ham, and they've got to start getting the match winners into positions where they can affect the game. I think certainly Dawson will be up for the battle at the back, which I think they've needed, and certainly Rice will have that intelligence to be able to either run with the ball or give balls into people in the areas just in front of Kidderminster's backboard that are needed.
Well, certainly they need a little bit more energy than they had in that first 45 minutes, and they need to test Luke Simpson in the Kidderminster Harriers goal. He wasn't tested at all in that first 45 minutes. And this is a tale of two clubs really that don't often go further than this, and more worryingly for West Ham than Kidderminster. Only once in 111 FA Cup campaigns have Kidderminster Harrier ever progressed from round 4. They did that the last time they ended up facing West Ham United, and West Ham knocked them out. West Ham have only gone beyond the 4th round once in the last 5 years, and that was last season, and they need to come back from a deficit in order to do so today. So Jeff Hurst is in attendance, the World Cup winner, as Austin sends a cross into the box early in the second half. Carrington goes to hit it, can't quite get there. It's away by Rice to the halfway line. I'll go through the two lineups for you in just a second. Kidderminster Harriers in red and attacking the goal now away to our left-hand side. And Penny scoops the ball into the air. It goes behind the goal and away for a goal kick away to our left-hand side. They've got Simpson in goal. Luke Simpson, the goalkeeper. Alex Penny, the goal scorer, is the right back. Nathan Cameron is alongside Matty Preston at the heart of defence with Caleb Richards at left back. It's Mark Carrington, the 34-year-old ex-Wrexham teammate of the boss Russ Penn, in midfield alongside Badge Rami, who stepped out of defence and into midfield today. And then it's Hemmings, Austin and Sterling behind Morgan Smith in attack. For West Ham United, it's Areola in goal, Fredericks, Zuma, now Dawson and Johnson the back four, and Noble and Rice in the centre of midfield with Ben Rama, Yarmolenko and Vlasic behind Bowen. Here is Morgan Smith coming forward for Kidderminster Harriers, who were a little bit irked that their throw-in didn't go their way initially. Mark Perry, the assistant on this near side. It's forward by Carrington into the air. Vlasic has gone down, crunched by Sterling. The ball loose in midfield, and it's Kidderminster who react better to it. It's picked up now by Hemmings, who shoots from distance, and it was swirling in the air, and it went wide of the left-hand upright. As we look at it, Areola pretty confident all along it was sailing past the post. I'm not sure the West Ham fans away to our right were.
Well, it was certainly a strange one, wasn't it? It seemed to do something at the last second there, and nearly caught Areola out. But certainly Vlasic was taken out there right in front of John Moss. I can't believe he didn't blow the whistle for it. I think West Ham was stunned that a foul wasn't given. But a good start to the game for Kidderminster. They get the ball into the areas long when they have to, and they put it under pressure, and they end up getting throw-ins in decent areas of the pitch. West Ham, like I say, I've got to find a way of getting it to the match winners. Dawson certainly has got to win his battle with Morgan Smith, who's been a real leader for Kidderminster in that first half.
Yeah, he's been leading the line and causing problems for the West Ham central defenders, one of which had to be replaced at half time. I think we can probably put that in the category of being hooked.
Absolutely.
Ball sent long for Johnson to chase down the left side. It is West Ham United behind Kidderminster Harriers, and Johnson wrestling over on the far touchline with Penny. It goes behind and away and out for a goal kick to the home team, who lead by 1-0. Chelsea 1, Plymouth 1 is over on TalkSport 2 right now, and Arsenal 0, Manchester United Women 1 in the WSL is still the scoreline at Boreham Wood.
West Ham have put Yarmolenko up the middle now, and they've put Vlasic in just behind him. Jared Bowen has come out onto this right hand side, so we didn't really see Jared Bowen. He's been in terrific form for West Ham, so somebody that in his normal position hopefully will have more of an impact for West Ham.
Here he is on the halfway line, combining with Fredericks, turning the ball back in field. A few rogue supporters start to come back into the seating area down in front of us. There might be a couple of West Ham fans. No, maybe it's not a West Ham fan, it's someone with a half and half scarf commemorating the occasion, who's just jaunted down towards the seating away to our left. Vlasic has just gone up with Preston. Preston wins a header. They want a free kick, West Ham. They're not getting it, but Noble's won it in the centre of midfield. It's picked up by Vlasic again, worked wide towards the left, and now Ben Rama with the chance to cross, does so, blocked by Penny, and the ball shepherded out towards the far side. Once again West Ham come forward, the ball picked up by Rice over on the far side. He cuts infield on his right foot. He's midway inside the Kidderminster half, and it's picked up by Noble now, who slips it down the right channel, looking for Ryan Fredericks, who's faced up on this near side by Caleb Richards. He takes him on, goes one way, then the other, then gets to the byline. It's a decent cross by Fredericks into the 6-yard box. There's no one there, and it's cleared away by Kidderminster towards the halfway line. Morgan Smith holding the ball up brilliantly against Dawson. Dawson, who's been around a bit, especially in the lower leagues, he'll know about the battle that he's going to expect in this second half, and Kidderminster are able to clear to the halfway line. 5 minutes gone second half, still Harriers lead by 1-0. And Dawson just pushes Morgan Smith out of play on this near side. A throw-in is what's awarded.
What does he think, Jonathan Ross? Does he think this is a wrestling match here? Because he's letting everything go. Even I could have got away with playing like this.
He's had a good week, he told me. He owns a record shop.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he owns a record shop and cafe in Leeds, and he deals in rare vinyl records. And he got a very rare vinyl record in this week. He's very happy about it for a very good price, he tells me.
He's just gained a bit of respect from me. He has, honestly. He did have some before.
Ball is out on this near side. It's with Ryan Fredericks in the right fullback position. Very good company, actually, John Moss. Ball sent down towards the halfway line, taken by Badrami, and then back to Richards. Richards now on the left towards Sterling. Sterling into Austin. He's got the wrong side of Vlasic. He's moving towards the edge of the penalty area. Austin on the front foot, plays it into the box. It hit the arm of Craig Dawson. The referee shakes his head, and Kidderminster Harriers are denied a penalty that they are claiming. VAR! And the odd shout of VAR can be heard audibly inside Aggborough. Not many people cheering for it recently, but they are here. They think that Dawson handled inside the box. Here's Sterling, onto Austin. Back to Carrington. Not a great ball. Rice will come across and pick it off and then send Jared Bowen down the right side. Carrington tries to stick with him, manages to get a challenge in and just halts Bowen in his tracks. He goes back centrally now, and West Ham on the attack. It's collected by Noble, just in front of the centre circle, swept wide towards the left, and now it's with Ben Johnson onto Ben Rama. Ben Rama cutting in field, bit more tempo about West Ham United, looking to respond after yet another issue at the back where Dawson struggled just a little bit with the movement of Morgan Smith and Sterling down that left-hand side, and ultimately Austin, who feels he should have had a penalty. Rice into Noble, down the left into the feet of Ben Rama, building an attack again. West Ham United trailing by a 1-0 live on Talk Sport. Chelsea 1, Plymouth 1 over on Talk Sport 2. Can switch between the two stations on our app. Here's Rice taking matters into his own hands, charging into the box, feeding Ben Rama via Vlasic, and then a really good block by Carrington, who got back and marshalled the defence well and stopped the effort from going anywhere near Simpson's goal.
Good play by Declan Rice, though. You know, he drove. You haven't seen too many West Ham players run with the ball and go past people. He did that. He made something happen. He committed one defender, slipped the ball to his left, and then all of a sudden they were behind Kidderminster. And that doesn't happen very often.
David Moyes talking to Paul Nevin on the touchline. Kevin Nolan just behind them. A few cross faces in the West Ham United ranks. Stuart Pearce doesn't look particularly happy. I mean, he doesn't usually look particularly happy anyway, really, to be honest with you. He doesn't belie any emotion on that face, I'll tell you. And scores Kidderminster Harriers 1, West Ham United 0 on TalkSport, thanks to Neutrogena T-Gel Therapeutic Shampoo. And we are live at Aggborough. Floodlights are on. Don't really need them now. It's quite a bright day here in Worcestershire, just southwest of Birmingham. It was a 2-hour drive for me from Manchester last night up to Liverpool this evening. We've got live coverage tomorrow of Liverpool-Cardiff. That kicks off at midday tomorrow. The fifth round draw is before that, so make sure you tune into TalkSport. We've got a whole day of jam-packed action again in the FA Cup tomorrow, and there's still a lot more to come today. Everton against Brentford on TalkSport 2. We've got Tottenham-Brighton later at 8. Burnley-Watford here on TalkSport 6 o'clock. The action just keeps on flowing. Corner to Kidderminster Harriers over on the far side at the corner of the north stand, away to our left, and it's taken by Hemmings, and it's a deep one. The goalkeeper's completely missed it, and it's headed over the top by Matt Preston. Well, I don't know what Areola was doing, but he came out towards his near post and the ball went sailing over his head. He got absolutely nowhere near the ball, Alvin Martin.
Well, again, it's good delivery, but they do have to. They know that delivery is coming in and they attack it ever so well. You know, it's an area of the game where you would expect our Premier League teams, West Ham, to be as well equipped as anyone, because David Moyes is so good at getting his team organised for that.
Carrington, who is all over the midfield at the moment, plays it into Hemmings, who's through towards the edge of the D, and again Kidderminster Harriers not resting on their laurels here. It's picked up and smashed towards goal by Sterling, and it's not too far away from the left hand upright. There was another good Kidderminster Harriers move, and if you thought that the changes that West Ham made at half time would just liven them up and get them moving once again, it certainly hasn't done the trick. Mark Noble is apoplectic on the edge of his own penalty area. He's screaming at his defenders. I don't think he's happy at all, and he's got every right to be annoyed.
Well, the worrying thing is that the Hemmings is been one of the eye-catching players, and there's been plenty of them in Kidderminster shirts this afternoon. Is able to get the ball in them areas that I'm talking about, where West Ham need to, in between the back four, and the midfielders. He's picked balls up in really congested areas, got himself turned. As soon as you do that, it looks like something can happen. People make runs, you can slip balls here behind the last defender, but you've got to get the ball in control in them areas, and for a non-league side, they do that ever so well.
West Ham are giving it away again. Kurt Zuma this time is the one who is the guilty party. That Dawson handball, the hand was pretty much behind his back. We've had a look at the replay back in our studios, and our producer's pretty sure that there was not too much in that. You mentioned Ashley Hemmings. He's 30 years of age now. He started out at Wolverhampton Wanderers. He had spells at Walsall and Dagenham and Redbridge and AFC Fylde. Obviously a very talented player. He used to play for the England under-17s, and we're seeing his full repertoire here at Aggborough this afternoon.
I've been really surprised, Sam. Look, I expected to see a non-league side here. We're going to give it a good go. We're going to get in West Ham's faces, put pressure on them. A fervent crowd behind them that was going to lift them. But I didn't expect to see the quality that they've shown. Certainly, the front four. They've looked, way much higher. You'd say this looks like a championship side at least.
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? Because, a lot is made of the fact that, lower league teams or teams with limited resources have to play in a particular way and they have to apply themselves differently. They have to go very direct. They have to be sometimes rudimentary. I mean, does this sort of underscore that if you've got good coaching and decent recruitment, it doesn't matter your level, you can compete, you can play football?
Well, yeah, look, there's not many times when I've seen a manager go in and completely transform certain players, improve certain players. I think Pochettino did it at Southampton. I've seen him do it at Spurs. It can be done. I've seen John Lyall do it at West Ham during my days. But it looks like, exactly what Russ Penn has been able to do here. He must have had, an idea that these lads could move up to a higher level in terms of the performance and the way they play. But they play the ball down. Look, they passed it. Look at the effort they're putting in. Man, there's a break here for West Ham.
Yeah, the break for West Ham has materialised with Vlasic picking the ball up and playing it out wide towards the left. Ben Rama sending the ball centrally now, takes a deflection, goes behind and away for a corner, and West Ham United maybe try to conjure something from this. Dawson will be a threat from this set piece. He usually is. He's only scored the one goal this season, but he's had so many chances. His only goal came in the Europa League against Genk. He's just trying to fashion a bit of space now as the ball goes in towards the near post. Big header away by Amari Morgan-Smith. It bounces on the edge of the box. Rice picks it up again for West Ham, coming forward towards the edge of the penalty area. Right-footed, delivers the ball towards the penalty spot. It's headed away by Preston and then hooked further clear by Sterling up over the halfway line. And West Ham will have the ball deep inside their own territory. You mentioned about Russ Penn transforming the team. One of the things that they did during COVID is they let a lot of players go, and he rebuilt this team. And he obviously is only with his assistant Jimmy O'Connor. They've only recently come out of the game themselves. They've been playing at this level a little bit higher over the course of their careers. They know the players. They've spent time in dressing rooms with the players. So when they were recruiting and building this team, they had intimate knowledge of the characters as well as the attributes of all the players that they managed to get hold of. There's a few of the younger players that have been promoted from the youth team as well, and they've got a really good group, and you can see that in evidence here today.
Well, there's lots of things got to be got right to get a team playing like this. You've got to get your recruiting, like as you mentioned. The management, the man management, the coaching, the daily. I don't know how often they train. Is it twice a week? But they look like they're a totally professional outfit.
Well, they are chasing Brackley and Gateshead in the race for promotion. They beat Kettering the other week in a match that Penn described as the biggest victory of the season. Well, that might be eclipsed in the next half an hour because they lead West Ham by 1-0. And West Ham going to bring on Thomas Souček in just a few minutes to try and level things up. I think Aaron Cresswell's coming on as well. That tells you everything.
Yeah, but look, you've got to get all your quality players out there. Cresswell will deliver, certainly from the wide areas. Souček is somebody that's got a goal limit. They need goal scorers out there now because the keeper still hasn't really had to make a save.
Here is Noble, who looks up, tries to push it forward into Bowen, who trips on the ball and loses out to Sterling. It's cleared away by Richards. It wasn't the best clearance because it's bounced off Bowen, and Yarmolenko's got it back to Bowen inside the area. Left footed, drives the ball in towards the near post. It's saved by Simpson down low, and then a tackle by Preston stops the second effort from Bowen. He goes over the crossbar, and it's out and behind for a corner.
Wow, I tell you, that was unbelievable. I said he hasn't had a save to make. Well, this is one. Simpson gets down. I thought that was in. It was really well struck by Bowen. Just pure tenacity, desire to get to the ball. He gets to it and he hits it really hard and low to the keeper's left. It nearly went inside the post, but it was a great save. And it did pop off him a little bit, but that's when his defender came to his aid. Really good spell.
Big fist pump from the goalkeeping coach Lee Evans, who was in the Chase Town team in 2018, who got to the third round. 2008, who got to the third round. He sees that save from Luke Simpson. It could be massive. Ball down the left then as they come in from the corner, and Ben Rama tries to get it into the box. He's held up by the defence. It's smuggled behind. It goes out for another corner, a second successive one for West Ham United. Kidderminster Harriers 1, West Ham 0. The first real shot on goal that West Ham have had has come from Jared Bowen, and the Premier League's most productive player as far as English players are concerned. And it was saved by Simpson. Hemmings heads it away as the ball goes into the box. Fredericks picks it up 5 yards outside the area. Bowen makes a run. Fredericks hesitates. Eventually it goes back to Bowen on the right hand side. He feeds Yarmolenko. Yarmolenko trying to trick his way past one challenge. Plays it down into the path of Bowen, who skates into the penalty area. Just holds the ball up. Clips it into the area. Headed away by Richards. And it should be cleared. And is volleyed clear by Morgan Smith. 61 on the clock. Still 1-0 to Kidderminster Harriers. Live on Talk Sport. The ball is worked out wide towards the left. Now it's collected by Ben Rama, who cuts in right-footed, drives the ball goalwards. It's flicked behind by Simpson, who dives down towards his right. And that just kicked up off the turf at the last minute, and he had to help it round the post.
Well, they've upped the ante now, haven't they? They've really upped the tempo of the game at West Ham, and you can sense that they're hanging on here, Kidderminster.
Corner to be taken by Noble. Lifted into the box. Dawson wins the first header, but he clattered into... I think it's Morgan Smith on the edge of the box, and that's going to be a free kick inside the 18-yard box. Here's the change then. Souček and Cresswell both coming on, and they are going to replace Johnson. And that's a straight swap for Cresswell. And Souček is going to come on and take the place of possibly Noble, I would imagine. Hasn't got confirmation of that. Yeah, Mark Noble is going to come off. He hands the captain's armband to Declan Rice and is replaced by Thomas Souček. He looks really frustrated, Mark Noble, away to our left-hand side. Live and exclusive commentary tonight, by the way, of the highly anticipated fight between Chris Eubank Jr. and Liam Williams from the Motorpoint Arena in Cardiff. It's live right here on TalkSport, 8 o'clock tonight, and then all the fallout will be on Monday's Sports Breakfast as well. Lots of boxing chat with Laura Woods, Ali McCoyce and Jamie O'Hara. Heavyweight show. Eddie Hearn, Jake Paul and Katie Taylor live in the studio. Here in the FA Cup, 4th round. Kidderminster Harriers of the National League North are now 27 minutes away from knocking out Premier League West Ham. At the moment, we haven't got a Premier League team through to round 5 yet, have we? 3 games we've had. Premier League teams going out left, right and centre. Chelsea not through yet. They're drawing with Plymouth over on TalkSport 2. United knocked out last night. And West Ham United struggling here. Sterling down the touchline, dancing away from one challenge, drawing another, and a free kick given to Kidderminster Harriers about 6 yards in from the left touchline, midway inside West Ham territory.
See, again, it's clever play. It's clever play. They've been having to defend their own penalty area for the last sort of 5 minutes. West Ham are getting a head of steam up, getting more fluent, and they've bought themselves a foul. A bit of respite. It's intelligent the way they do it.
Well, they've obviously got a game plan and a playbook because they've discussed the options and then given the signal. Here's Sterling to whip it in after a brief touch towards the far post, headed down by Penny, who's coming in round the back. Couldn't hit the target, couldn't get purchase on the header, but it was another well-worked set piece.
I think it came through bodies and he didn't see it until the last second, and was able to get a contact on it but couldn't direct it. But another good delivery in. You can see we were right behind that, Sam. There was a lot of thought went in. He didn't just put it in there, hopefully. There was a real purpose to the way he delivered it.
Well, Adrian was at the training ground yesterday and he was watching the training grounds action. I don't think Amari Sterling actually practiced too many free kicks today, but certainly there was a lot of discussion about him doing so yesterday. He was saying he could smash them in from anywhere. He too far out is never a thing for him. He's well happy lifting the ball into the area, and we've seen that on a couple of occasions today here at Aggborough, where Kidderminster Harriers lead by 1-0.
Well, West Ham have got a front four now. They've got all of their match winners on there. He wouldn't have wanted to do it.
They've given the ball away, and Morgan Smith is skating forward. He's left it for Sterling, who moves towards the edge of the box. He goes one way past Rice, who steps across him and just stops him from progressing into the 18-yard box, and does very well indeed. But there was a mishap there by West Ham United. They almost handed another attack to Kidderminster Harriers, who very quickly broke towards Areola's goal away to our left-hand side.
Thankfully for West Ham, it was Declan Rice who's brilliant in that position. He's a fabulous defender as well as a midfielder, isn't he? And he was able to get them out of trouble.
Someone needs to get West Ham United out of trouble here. Ben Rama, a reverse ball down towards the left-hand side. It's played into Cresswell, whose cross takes a deflection, loops into the air. Matty Preston heads it away. Cresswell forages over on the far side to win it back for West Ham, and then gets it to Ben Rama, who turns and plays it out to the left. And Cresswell now with a chance to cross. It's into Bowen. Bowen on the edge of the box, trying to twist his way into advanced position inside the area. It goes back out of Cresswell again, and then Cresswell will come all the way back towards the halfway line, and it remains 1-0 to Kidderminster Harriers. Declan Rice moves forward with the ball at his feet, just patrols into the midway point of the Kidderminster half. Everybody in red behind the ball now. They don't want to sit too deep. Certainly there's lots of conversations going on the Kidderminster bench as they try to work out a way of holding on to this lead given to them by Alex Penny in the first half, in the 20th minute of the game. Since then, it hasn't been all West Ham United. It's been a really even match. In fact, Kidderminster will argue they've had the better of the opportunities to further their lead until this second half, where West Ham have brought on the replacements. They're going to change their lineup as well now, Kidderminster. Leading by 1-0 against West Ham on TalkSport, thanks to Neutrogena T-Gel Therapeutic Shampoo. Just looking down the bench to see what Russ Penn is going to do. He's going through the last few little tactical switches.
I can't think of a single player that hasn't been 8 out of 10 for Kidderminster, so it's got to be somebody there he feels is looking a little tired, just fresh legs on there. But West Ham are now, there's more agency, they're moving the ball quicker, they're getting the ball into better areas. They still haven't created that gilt-edged chance, so haven't they?
This is TalkSport, and we're live at Aggborough. And it's West Ham United struggling against National League North side Kidderminster Harriers in the FA Cup 4th round, on a weekend of FA Cup action for you live here on the TalkSport network. TalkSport 2 brings you Frank Lampard's first game in charge of Everton a little bit later on. That's at 3 o'clock on TalkSport 2. Here is Rice, midway point of the opposition half, plays it to Souček, who's come on as a second half substitute because West Ham is struggling. Here is Fredericks down the outside, produces a cross into the penalty area, flicked away by Preston, further away by Austin on the edge of the box. Dawson joining the attack, is beaten to it by Sterling, who wins the ball and runs up towards the left hand side. Morgan Smith takes it towards the halfway line. He cuts infield and lays it off into Badrami. Now on to Austin. They're on the attack again, Kidderminster here. Morgan Smith drifts into the box. It goes wide where it's picked up by Hemmings. Penny goes out on the outside, and now they just slow the attack down. Keep composure. Carrington turning round to Badrami and saying, just keep composure and hold on to the ball. And West Ham United are being kept at arm's length again.
Again, Morgan Smith. How many times have we mentioned his name today? Where he's won a ball against Dawson. Dawson's a real battler. He's a Buccaneers centre half, strong, competitive, and he matched him there. He won the ball off Dawson, and they were able to then take the ball up the other end of the pitch.
Jimmy O'Connor and Russ Penn speak to Montrose and say, go and do your job. Big hulking central defender came out of the Manchester City Academy at one stage, and long-time injured club captain. He's about to come on. Here is Souček trying to get the ball away from the West Ham penalty area. Yarmolenko on the halfway line being marshalled by Cameron. One by Preston in the centre circle. Goes back to Penny, and then it's clipped forward down the right-hand side. I mean, the one thing you would advise against, I suppose, the coaching staff of Kidderminster is not to bring on a central defender, take off a forward option, and sit deep and invite pressure.
Absolutely. Would you? No, but look, that he knows his team, and the way he set his team up here, Russ Penn knows the game. He knows the game. He knows it, and he's certainly got them well coached. They're a footballing side, so I don't think he's a defensive coach. I think he's offensive, but certainly it doesn't, I think, forget about the defensive side of the game, because his team has displayed both, haven't he?
Fredericks woeful, giving the ball away on the halfway line, and Morgan Smith is now charging away into the penalty area on the left. He's taking on Dawson, who's now joined by Souček to back him up. Goes back to Sterling, edge of the area, drifts past Blasic into the area and tries to take on Fredericks, who comes across, atones for his error and brings the ball clear. Yarmolenko over the halfway line is fouled on halfway by Cameron, and that's going to be a yellow card.
That's a clever foul by Cameron. He'll think that's a good deal between him and the referee. A yellow card for that. It's a really good turn by Yarmolenko.
Well, this is unbelievable, isn't it? We're in the 71st minute of the game, and Mark Carrington now trotting off on this near side. He's 34 years of age, played with the manager at Wrexham. He's being replaced by Montrose, the club captain, who trots on. He gets a standing ovation from everyone inside Aggborough. I mean, at least whatever happens here, he'll be able to say, when he came off, we were beating Premier League West Ham.
No, that's the way you would think. Probably not him.
Here is Rice. And Montrose actually has gone into midfield, which is a sign that they're not going to retreat deep into their own half of the field. Kidderminster Harriers, who are only going to hang on for 19 more minutes. I was at Cheltenham a couple of years ago when they got in front against Manchester City, and I think there was about 20 minutes left when Manchester City then quick fire scored 3 goals, and the tie went away from Cheltenham very, very quickly. Anything can happen, and when you're up against a Premier League side, there's so much quality in the West Ham ranks. They haven't showed it so much in this game so far. They trail here by 1-0, a goal scored after 20 minutes from a set piece. Areola, I've seen the replay at half time. Areola punches Diop in the head as he tries to clear the ball. Diop heads it into the path of Penny. I think it did hit a hand of a Kidderminster player as well before eventually it was turned into the net by Penny. Cameron smuggles the ball away from the 18-yard line as West Ham come on the attack in search of an equaliser here. On the right with Ryan Fredericks. Into Souček. Souček just travels into the middle part of the Kidderminster half, lays it off to Declan Rice with his chest pumped out and moves towards the edge of the box and then plays the ball elegantly down the right side into the feet of Ben Rama, who skips away from a couple of challenges, feeds Souček, he clips the ball down the right side for Fredericks. Can he keep it in? He can. He's looking for Bowen. It's headed away though by Bajrami, and then it's further clear and up to Morgan Smith. West Ham win it again on the halfway line. All of a sudden a bit of nervous energy amongst those supporting Kidderminster Harriers, who still lead here by 1-0. Hemmings, who's been brilliant over on the far side, dives in, wins a tackle with Ben Rama, and it goes out for a throw-in by the corner flag to West Ham.
It's the first time in the game, Sam, that where you feel there's a goal coming for West Ham. It's the first time I've felt like that. You know, they're starting to look really dangerous now.
Well, listen to the noise in the background. You can hear everybody gearing up for their big moment at the end of the game. The explosion of noise when and if Kidderminster Harriers get over the line here will be deafening, but there's still a long way to go. This will rank amongst the biggest of FA Cup upsets, this one, if they can pull it off. Can they? You'll find out here on TalkSport. Cresswell on to Ben Rama, who moves towards the left edge of the Kidderminster penalty area. Back to Rice now, who just travels up towards the edge of the box and then plays it out wide into the feet of the Algerian Ben Rama, who clips the ball in towards the 6-yard area. Souček tries to hook it towards goal, miskicks it. It goes behind and away for a goal kick away to our right.
You know, there's a level. It hasn't just gone up one level for West Ham, it's gone up about 3 levels, and certainly Rice now being on the pitch with his presence. Souček, you know, is a threat. Whenever it goes in the box, you can see they're worried about his height, about his aerial ability, and all of those forwards that weren't getting on the ball in the first half are now getting more of it, and that can only be good for West Ham. It's just a matter of time now, isn't it? You know, you think 74 minutes on the clock. You know, the minutes will tick away quickly for West Ham and slowly for Kidderminster.
Only once in 111 FA Cup campaigns have Kidderminster ever gone beyond this stage of the competition. It was 1994. Lee Chapman scored the winning goal for West Ham United in the 5th round. Unless West Ham United can find a goal-scoring hero, it will be 5th round again for Kidderminster Harriers for only the 2nd time in their history. Here is Vlasic moving towards the midway point of the Kidderminster half. It's played out towards the left, and now Cresswell, then Rice, slick passing from West Ham, skates them towards the edge of the area. Ben Rama dribbling with the ball, motors in towards the edge of the penalty area. Back to Rice, who's 30 yards from goal, and he smashes the ball over the top of the south stand. Almost takes out the camera, which is on a gantry over the scoreboard away to our right, and it goes into a group of I'm not sure if that's, I think it is. It's the Kiddie Winks nursery behind the goal. I saw it on the way in. Right, okay, let's head off to some of our games elsewhere. We've got Everton, Brentford on TalkSport 2, Man City, Fulham, Southampton, Coventry, Wolves, Norwich, and all reporters around other grounds as well, including Sam Ellard, who can bring us team news from Crystal Palace against Hartlepool.
Good afternoon, Sam. As expected, Crystal Palace go strong like they did in the third round against Millwall. It's 4 changes to the team that were beaten by Liverpool last time out. In come Butland, Kelly, Milivojevic and Eze. As for Hartlepool, 16th in League 2, just under 5,000 fans have made the trip this afternoon. They make 1 change to the team that drew with Exeter last weekend. In comes Bryn Morris into the midfield for his debut. It's a 3 o'clock kickoff for Crystal Palace versus Hartlepool.
We are round the grounds with Dan Windle at 2:30 this afternoon. And we've got live commentary of Everton Brentford on TalkSport 2 at the same time. Change here for Kidderminster Harriers. And on comes Devontae Redmond, who is on loan. And I think maybe would have liked to have been able to play from the start today. He's done very well since coming in from Wrexham. He's 6'2". He's formerly of the Manchester United Academy. His dad, Paul Edwards, played left back in the AFL for Oldham and Port Vale and many others as well. And he's coming on now. And he's going to replace Sam Austin. Let's go off to Goodison Park. Live commentary on TalkSport 2 of Everton against Brentford. And Joe Shannon has the team news.
Frank Lampard's made 5 changes for his first Everton game. Coleman, Keane, Michaelenko, Allen and Gordon return. Calvert-Lewin is injured. Ali and Van der Beek are cup-tied. 3 changes for Brentford, including the return of David Raya in goal. Roerslev and Beck Sørensen also back. And Thomas Frank is in the dugout after recovering from COVID-19.
Thank you very much, Joe Shannon, your commentator on TalkSport 2 for Everton against Brentford. A long throw about to be scooped into the box here by Kidderminster Harriers. Away on the right-hand side. Launched into the penalty area, taken down by Morgan Smith, set back towards Devontae Redmond, who wins it, takes it away from Ben Rama, then loses out again. Souček is pressed by Penny. It goes out over on the far touchline. A goal at Meadow Park in the WSL for Flo Lloyd-Hughes.
It's not a goal, but it's a sending off. It's still Arsenal 0, Manchester United 1, but Arsenal are now down to just 10 players. Katie McCabe has been sent off. A second yellow card, a high challenge on Manchester United's Anya Batje. Katie McCabe plays in a very aggressive way, and sometimes that gets the better of herself. And she was booked earlier on in the game for a bit of a high challenge, an elbow to the back of Alicia Russo, and she's now off the pitch. So things going from bad to worse. It's still Arsenal 0, Manchester United 1.
Also scored some cracking goals as well, Katie McCabe. Here, Sammy Austin is just getting a round of applause from everybody who's sitting on this side of the ground, because he's just trotted round the pitch to come and collect a drink and a bib after being replaced by Devontae Redmond. And there are now just 12 minutes to go at the end of the game, with Kidderminster Harriers leading West Ham by a goal to 0. Could be an historic occasion. Go back through the annals of time. Sutton beaten Coventry, massive day. West Bromwich Albion being knocked out all those years ago. Kidderminster and their previous antics beating Birmingham and Preston in 1994 before going up against West Ham United. This is going to be a huge giant killing as Ben Rama slaloms into the box, tries to put it back to the edge of the 6-yard box. Yarmolenko on the edge of the area now tries to twist his way into a shooting position. Juices across, takes the deflection from Preston, is smuggled away out on the far side by Penny, and it's out for a throw-in. Here is Cresswell bringing the ball down and getting it into a wing position. David Moyes looks on. He looks pained as he stands with his hands rammed into his tracksuit bottoms away to our left. Yarmolenko, incredibly tall, 6'4", but hasn't had much of an impact on the game so far this afternoon. Ben Rama trying to take on Penny, slides in, rifles it into the stand, and it's out for another throw. They're going to need all that commitment, power, endeavour over the next 10 minutes or so. Kidderminster Harriers. Still 1-1 Chelsea Plymouth over on TalkSport 2. Anyone want to win the FA Cup this year? Rice clips the ball into the 18-yard box. Fredericks heads it back across the face of goal, chested into the air by Yarmolenko. Devontae Redmond, well, I don't think he got that right at all. He went to try and clear it upfield and ended up finding a couple of rows in front of us. In the midway point of the West Ham United half, there is another goal in the WSL for Flo Lloyd-Hughes.
And Arsenal do now have their equaliser. It's Arsenal 1, Manchester United 1. That's 10-man Arsenal have equalised. Stina Blackstenius with her first ever goal for the club. Viviane Miedema is deep in her own half but plays a brilliant long ball forward to Blackstenius. She's one-on-one with Earps and puts it past the United goalkeeper. Ella Toone, just before that sending off for Arsenal's Katie McCabe, had a one-on-one chance to put United 2-0 up, but she missed it. It's Arsenal 1, Manchester United 1.
Well, big shout for a penalty here at Kidderminster Harriers Aggborough. Cameron being accused by Yarmolenko of a trip inside the penalty area. The Kidderminster Harriers fans are screaming at Yarmolenko for diving. What was your verdict, Alvin Martin?
I think it was contact there, but I think he went down looking for the contact. So I don't think it was a penalty.
Here's Redmond, edge of the box, shooting at the other end. It comes out towards this near side. I think it probably was a dive. I think he was looking for it. Our producers back in London are looking at the replay. They suggest, unless that there is a sniper at the top of the stand away to our right, there was no contact at all. You never know. Yarmolenko's back on his feet. Corner kick over away to our left. Sterling to take it. And we're heading into the final 7 or 8 minutes of this encounter live on TalkSport between Kidderminster Harriers and West Ham United. Right-footed Mari Sterling just bouncing the ball on the edge of the quadrant. Now, I think that's a signal, which is why he's taken his time over it, and he's gone back and done it again. John Moss has told him to get on with it because he's wasting time. It's delivered into the area. Goalkeeper punches this time. It was right under his crossbar, and with his right hand he reaches over his head and haymakers the ball out for a throw-in over on the far side.
Well, this is what they do well. You know, obviously they're not going to rush to take this, but they keep it in there. They keep the ball alive. They keep it in and around the edge of West Ham's penalty area. It's just intelligence, really, and they know what they're doing. This team, you know, I've got to give immense. Doesn't matter what happens in these remaining minutes. Immense lot of appreciation to Russ Penn, because he's got them organised, he's got them motivated, and he's got a really, really good team here.
Ball is out for another throw-in for Kidderminster Harriers, who are quite happy to keep the ball in the far corner of the field in their right wing position. Loads of Kidderminster fans recalling their memories of 1994 over the course of the week. But beating a Premier League side, I don't think it's going to get better than this. A team who are challenging for the Champions League, a team that are very much still in the Europa League in the latter stages after winning their group, about to be eclipsed by Kidderminster Harriers. Less than 7 minutes to go.
A lot of these players, Sam, would have been in the team that beat Chelsea, they beat Liverpool. It's incredible, isn't it?
It's an incredible leveller, the FA Cup, isn't it? We say it every single year. We can't quite believe it happens every year, but every year it does happen. Speak to Newcastle fans about their exploits with Cambridge earlier in the year. Speak to anybody who happened to be at Manchester United's Old Trafford last night. United dominating the game for a good half an hour of the match, maybe even longer than that, before Chris Wilder's team really came into it and got themselves a goal and ultimately a place in round 5. A Kidderminster Harriers going to join them. Well, they are, unless West Ham can come up with a goal. Soucek over on the left, Cresswell. It is an absolutely shocking FA Cup result. One of the biggest ever. Soucek from distance clips the ball into the penalty area. It's headed away by Caleb Richards, but only as Fredericks manages to help the ball out towards the right hand side. Done it. It's something to do with protecting the goal, maybe. I'm not entirely sure, but he's done a brilliant job. Bajrami, who came out of the Birmingham Academy. Ball is on the right side, and it's collected by White for Kidderminster Harriers. He's done brilliant since coming on as a substitute, by the way. He got out there and he's really contributed. There's a problem here for Kurt Zuma, who's gone down over on the far side. He is being attended to now by the West Ham United staff.
It's his knee. Declan Rice is worried about him. He's saying it's his knee, and we know he's had trouble with his knee.
Yes, several problems with his knee. And that is a worry for West Ham United, especially they've had issues, major issues in that area of the field, haven't they, over the course of the last few weeks. Zuma's been out. He's come back into the team against Manchester United. He won't want another injury. He was out for a long period of time when he was at Chelsea with a bad injury. And he's now being attended to on the far side. So we've played 7.5 minutes of the second half of extra time, and it's still 1-1 between Kidderminster Harriers, a team from the National League North, against West Ham of the Premier League. And we've got a pause in play here. Elsewhere, Chelsea beating Plymouth by 2-1. And we're going to go round our grounds in the EFL and in the FA Cup after we finish here. Dan Windle, I think you heard from him momentarily. Someone tells me that the electrics failed here at Aggborough. Everyone got too excited. There's a big electrical failure in the game at Old Trafford last night. They couldn't sell any pies at half-time. No beer, no drinks, no nothing, because the tills all went down because of an electrical fault. Imagine that went down well.
That wouldn't have happened in the old days, would it? Eh?
No. See, when you could just use cash, you would think it was fine. It's the problem with all this digitisation. I left last night, went straight to the chippy. Got myself a big bag of chips on the way home. And we're still waiting for Kurt Zuma to get up and moving. He's now sort of being edged towards the far touchline. And West Ham, well, are they going to make another change? I think they've made 5 changes, but they can make a 6, can't they, because of its extra time. No one ready at the moment. He's not going to come back on, is he? He might well do. It looks like he might. Ball is down the right with Devontae Redmond moving towards the edge of the 18-yard box. And then the ball is picked up by Zuma, who's come back on the far side and seems to be ready to continue. They've played it to him again. He's not looking particularly stoic. And it goes out of play and it's away for a throw over on the far side. All these twists and turns happen in the FA Cup, don't they?
Well, one thing I am sure of, Sam, is that, whatever happens, West Ham going in and they've won on penalties or in extra time, they won't be getting a slap on the back from the manager saying, well done. It will just be a case of getting the bath, let's go home.
There certainly will not be any backslapping from West Ham United's backroom staff to this performance, which has not been really good enough for a Premier League team. Here is Lowe shooting from 25 yards out, trying to guide the ball goalwards and didn't quite catch it right and drags it wide of the post, and it goes out on the far side. Keith Lowe, who's 6'2", he's in his 3rd spell with Kidderminster Harriers. He played in the Championship with Wolves and with Burnley, has come on in this second half of extra time to add a little bit of bulk to that midfield, to protect that defence that has been so resolute in the game. Here on the far side, the left, the ball is picked up by Ben Rama for West Ham, dancing into the box, trying to get it across the face of goal. Another challenge comes in. This time it's smuggled behind by Montrose, and it's out for a corner to West Ham.
When you get behind the defence that often, it normally results in a goal. It hasn't up to now.
They've done so well. They've taken a short corner kick though. And brilliantly White has nabbed the ball off Ben Rama, and he's dragged his team up the pitch with a run towards the halfway line. Richards trying to return it to him, gets towards the touchline. It ends up falling into a mud patch. The ball goes down the touchline. White stops it from reaching Yarmolenko, who looks absolutely cream crackered. And then Fredericks plays the ball across his back line to Rice. Kidderminster still hoping that they can get to penalties. They'll have nothing to lose if it goes to penalties, Kidderminster Harriers. They would have done their job. They would have given every ounce of sweat and blood and energy that they could possibly muster. Offside flag up against Fornals as it's played down the left-hand side. And now, once again, we're in that territory, Albion Martin, where Kidderminster Harriers know that any goal will be lethal for their hopes in the FA Cup. But if they can hang on they will have achieved something truly momentous.
Absolutely. Look what they have done. They've already won a moral victory, haven't they? They've won, on so many counts here to take it to this stage. But real immortality is still not achieved, is it? It could still be.
It just sends a message to every Premier League team that are competing this weekend. Do not take it lightly. Look what's happened to Manchester United. Look what's happened to Chelsea. Look what's happened to West Ham. All three of them so far have had to go to extra time against lower league opposition.
Just values it.
Done it. No more damage from a Declan Rice right footer. That's what they'll be saying on the stands at Aggborough. Here is Cresswell though, on the edge of the box. To Fornals, trying to send it down the right. Yarmolenko, screams of come from the stands as Yarmolenko sends it forward. It comes towards the inside of the box. It falls to Bowen, and Bowen taps it home. And again, in stoppage time, Kidderminster Harriers' hearts are broken, and they're broken by Jared Bowen. It bobbled along the edge of the 6-yard box, and a yard from goal. Jared Bowen was there to steer West Ham United into the 5th round. And it's a real tearjerker. A whole afternoon in which Kidderminster Harriers, 115 places below their illustrious opponents, had held on and held on and held on. But right at the very last, when they were clawing their way to penalties, they've been undone by Jared Bowen, the most productive Englishman in the Premier League this season. Has popped up and saved face for West Ham and avoided a penalty shootout that could have been damaging. Aggborough is stunned. It's emotionally drained, and Kidderminster are going out.
Well, I don't know who wrote this script, Sam, but he didn't have a heart, that is for sure. It really has been very, even as an ex-West Ham player, I do feel a tremendous amount of sympathy for them. But they walk off this pitch with their heads held high.
Well, we were deep into stoppage time when that goal went in. West Ham have won the tie, but Kidderminster Harriers have won the day. They were on the verge of the greatest shock in FA Cup history. 28 years ago, they shocked the world by getting to the 5th round of the FA Cup. They were so close to doing so. Inside the 90 minutes, they were there before Declan Rice took matters into his own hands and rifled the ball into the net. They played through extra time with aching limbs, with energy sapped from every sinew of their muscles, and they thought they'd gone to a penalty shootout. But they switched off for one moment right at the very end of stoppage time, at the end of extra time, and Jared Bowen pounced. And West Ham United will go through to the 5th round of the FA Cup. It doesn't happen to them very often in the last few years. They did it last year, but this is only the second time in 6 years that they've gone through to that particular stage of the FA Cup. I'm not sure they earned it, but they will be there. Kidderminster won't, and I don't know how. A gutting afternoon for Russ Penn and his team, who will stand up and be proud of what they achieved here. They showed brilliant resilience and determination to go this far. Unfortunately for them, they are out. It's finished Kidderminster Harriers 1, West Ham 2.
Well, Kidderminster were nearly there. They were nearly in round 5. They'd nearly dumped out Premier League opposition in West Ham United, and in injury time, Declan Rice scored a cracker. Kidderminster were nearly going to penalties against West Ham United, and Jared Bowen tapped one in to win it right at the death. But I've seen something today that I don't think I've ever seen before. As soon as that Jared Bowen goal went in, Every single Kidderminster fan was on their feet applauding their team. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. And West Ham have won the tie, Alvin Martin, but Kidderminster Harriers have won the hearts of everybody in here, and probably the nation as well, because, don't know about you, mate, I don't think Kidderminster deserved to lose that, did they?
No, I don't think so. Look, if there's a way to exit the FA Cup, Kidderminster have just shown us the way. You walk off the pitch with your crowd cheering you, with your head held high, having made your coach and manager, chairman, very proud. And they're doing a lap of honour at the moment, and they're fully deserving of the reception they're getting. They've raised a lot of money for the club, they've raised the profile of the club, and they've put this club, it was already on the map, but in a different way, right up there with some of the best performances the competition's ever seen.
Really sensational stuff from Kidderminster Harriers, who are currently doing a lap of honour. The fans you can hear are the Kidderminster fans. Kiddie are massive everywhere they go. That's their song. There's a tinfoil FA Cup. I think they were dreaming of actually lifting that at Wembley at one point. Absolutely extraordinary. But as the players parade in front of their own fans, applauding them, those fans know that those players gave absolutely everything. And there's a line in that bubble song for West Ham: fortune's always hiding. Well, not today, it wasn't. They got pretty lucky at the end of normal time and the end of extra time as well. I tell you what, we've got a goal at the Etihad. Let's head to Mickey Gray.
Well, this might surprise a few, Adrian, but it is Manchester City 0, Fulham 1. Been a really lively start to the game. Jack Grealish had a real early opportunity, which was simply saved by the goalkeeper Gazaniga. But they picked the ball up in the central midfield area, and it's Harrison Reed who just reverses a pass round to his right-hand side, and it's Harry Wilson who runs onto it. First time crossing to the area, and Fabio Carvalho, a simple little tap-in just from the edge of the 6-yard area. Just as I'm speaking, City is on the attack now. They've got a chance with Grealish. And that one's blocked. Yeah, really great start to this fourth round FA Cup tie, Adrian. But it's Manchester City 0, Fulham 1.
And a goal of Palace as well. Sam Ellard.
It's Crystal Palace 1, Hartlepool 0. It's come from a brilliant free kick from Michael Elise. Mark Gurkey, unmarked, just guided the ball into the back of the net. 71 places separate the two sides in the football pyramid, and it's the worst possible start for Hartlepool, who are looking to reach the 5th round of the FA Cup for the first time in their history. An early goal for the home side. It's Palace 1, Hartlepool 0.
We will be going to Selhurst Park to bring you the goals as they go in, take you around the grounds very shortly. But let's soak it all up here at Aggborough Stadium as the fans make their way out of this stadium, away from their seats. Kidderminster players have gone back in, down the tunnel. They'll be having emotional words, I would suspect, with their manager and the assistant manager. Jimmy O'Connor is the assistant, and of course Ross Penn is the manager. We'll get reaction from both of them and from the West Ham camp as well. Declan Rice, the scorer of the goal, really turned this tie. And Alvin Martin, you've got to say, he has stood up for West Ham today. Whatever his future is, whether it's at the club or not, the West Ham fans were singing his name, and you can understand that as well.
Adrian, if he hadn't come on, West Ham would not have gone through. As simple as that. He had a massive, massive impact on the game. Unbelievable.
Really did have a huge impact on the game. He's just making his way down the tunnel now. I think he gave his shirt to the West Ham fans in that away end, away to our right, and then had to be given a coat because it was so cold. He's just signing autographs for the Kiddie fans as well, and he really has dug West Ham out of a hole. But we talk about the FA Cup, don't we, and it's just how brilliant the FA Cup is. Well, this has shown yet again what it's all about. We saw Manchester United last night. You and Sam were talking about it in commentary. United last night. Chelsea have got through, but only just against Plymouth after the League One side took the lead. And here today, West Ham, I mean, you can't even say they scraped through. I mean, I don't know if there's a word that's been invented yet for it.
Well, I think tremendous relief, Adrian, is what will be in that dressing room. Wake-up call maybe, but you know what? There's lots of omens surrounding this game, and maybe there's one there as well for West Ham, because I remember when we won it in 1980. We were really fortunate in the first game we played against West Brom. We got outplayed, outgunned, and somehow we got a draw. And we went on to win it that year. I remember Billy Bond saying, when on the coach, this could be our year. Well, look at what's happened today. I would maybe say that again. who knows what's going to happen for West Ham this year?
Yeah, scraped through 28 years ago, mate. Today, we told you that Fulham were 1-up at the Etihad. There's been another goal there. Mickey Gray.
Yeah, it's the equaliser, Adrian. It's now Man City 1, Fulham 1. It came about a minute after Fulham took the lead from the kick-off. They worked it down the left-hand side. Phil Foden, fantastic run down to the byline. Eventually worked its way over to the back stick where Riyad Mahrez just pulled a little ball back to the penalty area, and it was Ilkay Gundogan who just had a simple tap into the back of the net. Such an open game, fantastic game of football so far, really enjoying it. Man City 1, Fulham 1.
Okay, here West Ham United fans have made their way out already. They'll know they got lucky. They've beaten Kidderminster Harriers by 2-1. There was an equaliser in the 93rd minute of normal time and a winner right at the death of extra time, as we all thought it was going to penalties. Time now to pick our man of the match on TalkSport, brought to you by Neutrogena T-Gel.
Man of the match on TalkSport with Neutrogena T-Gel Therapeutic Shampoo. Official partner of TalkSport's FA Cup coverage. Contains coal tar. Always read the label.
Alvin Martin, West Ham have won, but I dare you to pick a Hammers player.
Well, I think there are 11 Kidderminster candidates. I've got no doubt about that, Adrian. But there was one man, there's only one man we're sitting here talking now, has changed the course of the game. And we're not talking about a Kidderminster win, we're talking about West Ham going through. And that's Declan Rice. He was just head and shoulders above everybody for ability. I've got to say, the Kidderminster players, there was Cameron, Preston, Morgan Smith, Hemmings, Sterling. The list went on. They were fantastic. But this was a team performance. It wasn't about individuals. One individual got West Ham out of jail, and it was Declan Rice.
You're right. It was a team thing for Kidderminster Harriers. You're spot on. And actually, he was a match winner, wasn't he? I know he didn't get the winning goal, Declan Rice, but he literally was the difference between the two sides. His performance, his drive from midfield. You know, we mustn't underestimate, and I appreciate it's National League North we're talking about here, but West Ham were being beaten, and he came on, and he got a grip on the game, got that equalising goal. This is a special player we're talking about, isn't it?
Absolutely, and you know, there were a lot of West Ham players on the pitch with lots of ability, but when able to impose it and apply it like Declan Rice did. And I think when he came on, the ball started to get delivered into better areas. Other players around him. That's why he's not just a player; he's a leader. They reacted, they lifted their game, and the game started to change.
Alvin, thanks very much. Declan Rice gets it. He was the difference between the two sides. He was our man of the match, brought to you by Neutrogena T-Gel Therapeutic Shampoo, official partner of TalkSport's FA Cup coverage.
Man of the match on TalkSport with Neutrogena T-Gel Therapeutic Shampoo, official partner of TalkSport's FA Cup coverage. Contains coal tar. Always read the label.
Well, as you know, from the 3 o'clock kickoffs, there have already been goals, so we're going to take you round the grounds, bring you all the goals as they go in just a second, but we'll get your reaction from Aggborough throughout the course of the afternoon after what has been an incredible, truly incredible FA Cup tie when 6th-tier Kidderminster Harriers thought they were through and West Ham saved themselves at the death and then went and won it right at the end of extra time. What drama the FA Cup brings. A true privilege to bring you this live on TalkSport. Let's take you right now for the rest of the FA Cup action this afternoon to Sellers Park and TalkSport's Dan Windle.
Adrian, thank you. Thanks for your company on FA Cup Game Day live on TalkSport with me, Dan Windle. As this afternoon, again, we seek upsets. Let's be honest, we thrive in the hunt for an upset or two. We thought we've had a couple of major ones for you already today. Will this afternoon deliver? I'm your host, Dan Windle, live from Sellers Park, where the atmosphere rarely under-delivers. So rich, always animated, and we've had an early goal. The former Palace Newcastle midfielder, Darren Ambrose, is live alongside TalkSport's Sam Ellard.
Here's Crystal Palace 1, Hartlepool 0. Mark Gurhey with the early goal for the Premier League side. It was a brilliant free kick from Michael Elise, who's been fantastic in the opening 10 minutes this afternoon. Gurhey was unmarked. He just helped the ball into the back of the net. Crystal Palace 9 points above the drop zone in the Premier League and 12 points off a European spot. So no real surprise that once again Patrick Vieira, a 5-time FA Cup winner as a player, names a strong team this afternoon like he did at Millwall in the third round. Hartlepool yet to really get going this afternoon. They've spent the majority of the game so far in their own half. They're looking to reach the 5th round of the FA Cup for the first time in the club's history. 71 places separate the two sides in the football pyramid. Darren Ambrose, the former Palace midfielder, alongside me this afternoon. And Darren, so far Palace in cruise control. They are, but Hartlepool well, they're not overawed at the moment. They've had a fantastic chance with David Ferguson, who I think has got 4 goals this season already. Back post header. Butland made it a bit difficult than what it should be, and they gave away a corner. But like you said, Elise's been absolutely fantastic. He changed a game when he came on against Millwall with a goal and an assist, and he's already changed the start of this game, and he's settled it down for Crystal Palace. Eze is getting on the ball, as is Conor Gallagher, and the delivery for the set play, it must be said, it was poor marking from Hartlepool. Gurhey on his own in the box to have an easy tap in. 12 minutes gone at Selhurst Park. It's Crystal Palace 1, Hartlepool 0.
4,700 of their fans have made the trip to South London. If they travelled on the club coaches, their travel costs subsidised by their host this afternoon, Crystal Palace. A wonderful occasion here in South London. Another goal, a third at the Etihad with TalkSport's Mickey Gray.
Well, Fulham were in front after 5 minutes. They're now behind after 12 minutes. It's now Manchester City 2, Fulham 1. Man City worked it really well. It was a diagonal pass from Fernandinho. It ended up going out for a corner. Kevin De Bruyne went across. He just whipped one into the near post, and it was John Stones getting away from his marker, got a little glance and header on it, and it found its way into the back of the net. Man City 2, Fulham 1.
It's the start of a Frank Lampard-led era at Goodison Park. How will his Everton side get on this afternoon in the 4th round of the FA Cup against Brentford? Afternoon to TalkSport, Steve Hothersall.
We're 12 minutes in here, Everton 0, Brentford 0. As you say, the Lampard revolution underway. Standing ovation for him pre-match as hope mixed with expectancy. Can he compete where the other more experienced managers have failed? Well, he made 5 changes from the last game. His team lineup bringing in Keane, Allen, Mykolenko, Coleman and Gordon. The applause you can hear is because Everton have suffered a very early injury. Godfrey went down injured and he's being helped off. He's limping off the pitch and he's going to be replaced by Yerry Mina. Brentford, of course, on the back of 4 straight defeats, making 3 changes. Raya, Sorensen and Rasmussen brought into the side. In terms of the action, Richarlison has had a soft penalty appeal turned down and also had a snapshot just wide. He's live on TalkSport 2 with Joe and Kevin Campbell at the moment after 13 minutes. Everton 0, Brentford 0.
Wigan Athletic arrive in the Potteries this afternoon on the back of a 20-game unbeaten run, gunning for promotion to the Championship, seeking to book a place in the 5th round of the FA Cup. Stoke better be ready for a testing afternoon. Early goal at the Bet365 though. Which way's it gone, Dave Rowe?
It's gone to Stoke. An unbeaten run for Wigan under threat. It's Stoke 1, Wigan 0, and Josh Maja has got a goal on debut the deadline day, signing former Fulham and Sunderland man. Maja has struck after Tyrese Campbell broke down the right-hand side. Clever ball across the area. Maja took one touch to control and then smashed beyond Jamie Jones in the Wigan goal. Wigan, of course, are chasing promotion from League One. They've made 9 changes here. They've got a big game against Sheffield Wednesday coming up on Tuesday. Stoke have been on top in the early stages. They went close early on with Jones. A dreadful clearance away straight to Tyrese Campbell. His shot was deflected wide off Kel Watts, but now Campbell has teed up Maja to make it Stoke 1, Wigan 0.
Dean Smith's Norwich have just started winning at quite an important time, haven't they, today? They seek to remedy a rather woeful record at Molineux. Can they get the better of Wolves? What's the start been like? TalkSport's Nigel Pearson, afternoon.
Yes, Dan, and here we're into the 17th minute of this match. Wolves 0, Norwich 0, the scoreline, but it has to be said the Canaries have had the one and only genuine goal-scoring opportunity of the game so far. On the quarter of an hour mark, Rasitsa through for Adamida for Norwich in the penalty area. John Ruddy, the former Canaries keeper, in for Jose Sarr for Wolves this afternoon. It came off his line. He spotted exactly what was happening and he denied Adamida the opportunity to put it on target. Great goalkeeping and a lovely build-up from Norwich as well. A couple of notes about the team news. Conor Cody makes his 300th appearance for Wolverhampton Wanderers this afternoon. Bruno Lage, the Wolves manager, went home during the break, back to Portugal to see his family, and you know, he's watched back every single game that Wolves have played this season. That's some commitment when you're supposed to be spending time with your family. Billy Gilmore returns for Norwich straight into the starting lineup today, but Gunn, Aarons and Pukki are on the bench alongside Matthias Norma, a key player for the Canaries. So we're 18 minutes into this game, into the 18th minute it is. It's Wolves 0, Norwich 0.
I thought you were going to say Bruno Lage has decided to stay in the sun next to the Western Home Stadium. Peterborough, can they hold an informed QPR at bay? Let's get there with Jeff Peters.
Well, it's Peterborough United 0, Queen's Park Rangers 0 into the 17th minute here. Both sides making 4 changes in this all-championship affair. Edwards, Beavers, his 100th game for the club. Norburn and Ward return for Peterborough. There's first QPR start for Dion Sanderson. Odebajo, Chair and Austin are back, and Chair has had the only effort on target, 20-25 yards out. Brilliant save from the keeper. It's Peterborough 0, QPR 0.
Already on TalkSport, heartbreaking for Kidderminster Harriers, suffering a late defeat in extra time to Premier League outfit West Ham. Let's get back to Aggborough with TalkSport's Adrian Durham.
Thanks, Dan. Yeah, pitch sides. We've got the Kidderminster manager, Russell Penn. It's a cliched question I've got to ask. How are you feeling?
I'm all right. I'm disappointed, obviously, but immensely proud. We were fantastic today. We were proactive and we took the game to West Ham like I wanted to do, and the game plan worked a treat. Okay, we suffered at times and we really suffered leg-wise in extra time, but to be that close is heartbreaking. But also, when I wake up tomorrow and I'm a little bit cooler, I'll reflect on how proud I am.
I mean, I'm not a Kidderminster fan, but I was heartbroken as well when the goal in the 93rd minute went in, when Bowen tapped in for the winner. I had a lump in my throat, so I could only feel for you. I mean, the emotions must have been so hard to keep in check.
Yeah, more so for the players. They're the ones who have been out there today and put their heart on sleeve. I'm just dictated on the side. My work was done yesterday. Feel for the players, but I know when they wake up on Monday, they will be immensely proud. The families are immensely proud, and we've took a top team all the way to the end today.
Yeah, he left some big players out, but you forced him to bring those players on, and one of them, Declan Rice. Alvin Martin's just picked him as man of the match and said that he really was the difference between the two sides. Would you agree with that?
100%. That's why I'm really proud. They've had to make them changes. He probably didn't want to make them. Declan Rice showed today why he's the best. He took the ball and he controlled the game, and he completely changed their style of play. So I don't like him at the moment, Declan. So I'm going to go and see him now and we'll have a little chat.
Listen, you've got to recover from it because you've got a National League North programme, but what can you take from this cup run?
Pride, and we need to bounce into the league now and finish the season off on a high. What I do want is the crowd to believe what we've got on the pitch here and really back them all the way for the next 3 months.
Yeah, it's been a great week, really. Had a great day yesterday at the training ground. Great week chatting to you daily. We've been daily talking to each other. It's been brilliant. And it ended like this, a truly dramatic finale to the week for you. And sadly, it hasn't gone the way you wanted. But it also says something about the FA Cup. We saw Middlesbrough last night. Plymouth led at Chelsea and went all the way before Chelsea won it. And you've done something nearly miraculous here today. The FA Cup has still got it, hasn't it?
Oh, it's the magic of the cup. And 2 minutes to go, I was actually believing that today. And then 1 minute later, they scored. Well, it's remarkable. Things like this don't happen in other countries. This is a 6-tier team taking a top-flight team all the way to the wire. Is something special, but it just shows you about the sport in this country.
Russell, it's been great. Thank you very much. And thanks for today as well. And thanks for talking to us. Cheers.
Top man, sir. Top man.
There you go, Russell Penn, the manager of Kidderminster Harriers, keeping the emotions in check. I think the bottom lip was quivering just a little bit, but heartbreak for the Harriers here today at Aggborough. 1-0 up for so long in the game. Declan Rice comes on, transforms West Ham United, gets an equaliser. Bowen gets a winner right at the death in extra time. Kidderminster go out, but heads held high, and the Hammers head on through to the 5th round of the FA Cup. The draw tomorrow at 11:40. We'll bring it live on TalkSport before our commentary of Liverpool against Cardiff at Anfield. Dan Windle at Selhurst Park, back to you.
Adrian, top work alongside Sam Matterface and Alvin Martin. Thank you. Battling it out on the south coast. Southampton, Coventry trying to make the last 60 in the FA Cup a goal with TalkSport's Lawrence Mora.
Southampton 0, Coventry 1, and it's Gyökeres the man with it. Super bit of play in the middle of midfield by Sheep. He's played a really neat 1-2 on the edge of the area, and Gyökeres has passed the ball beyond Caballero into the far corner of the net. And wild celebrations amongst the 5,000 Coventry fans packing out the away end here at St Mary's. I'm here with David Connolly, the former Saints striker. David, they did more than they deserve because they've been terrific in the first 20 minutes or so, Coventry.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they started well. They're sitting deep and they're countering on Southampton, and they've got the likes of O'Hare, who's class in the middle of the park. Gyökeres up there on his own up front, who's been superb, and that was a really well crafted goal. I mean, mean, you know, they've had a couple of those little moves, breaking from deep, and it was finished really well. Nice little give and go on the edge of the box. And Saints have been a little bit sloppy. You know, they've got a couple of new wing backs in. Livramento's back in, Thierry Small on the left hand side, but as soon as it goes into the front, it's just breaking down for them. They've really struggled to open this Coventry side up, and you know, their tactics so far in terms of sitting deep and countering have worked really, really well.
Yeah, they really have, and as you can hear, the atmosphere is absolutely bristling. What a place to make your debut for 17-year-old Saints wing-back Thierry Small. He's already almost scored an own goal. He took Caballero to save him his blushes in the opening 15 minutes. We got a right game on here. Southampton 0, Coventry 1.
The atmosphere here at Selhurst Park, excellent as you'd expect, and Palace turning on the style. Darren Ambrose alongside Sam Ellard.
Crystal Palace 2, Hartlepool 0. It's a really, really good goal from Michael Elise. Assist for the first, he scores the second. A great piece of skill to go past Timmy Odensina. He was then through on goal and scored with a near post finish. Darren Ambrose, he's been electric in the opening 20 minutes.
He certainly has, and we were speaking before the game, Sam, and the atmosphere here, and it was a party atmosphere from the Hartlepool supporters, near 5,000 of them. We said 2 early goals from Crystal Palace will stop that. I mean, it's not going to stop the party atmosphere, but you know, it's settled Crystal Palace into this game. And Michael Elise has been absolutely sensational in this opening section of this game with already the assist and this goal. I think Odesina got a little bit caught up under his feet, but it was a great flick and a fantastic finish. And along with Eze, they have been really, really good, and Hartlepool need to get a grips of those players or it's going to be a long afternoon.
Yeah, Gerhi opened the scoring from an Elise free kick, and Elise has doubled Palace's lead. An FA Cup upset this afternoon so far looks unlikely. 24 minutes gone, Palace 2, Hartlepool 0.
At the John Smith Stadium, an all-championship FA Cup 4th round clash between Huddersfield Town and Barnsley, and a goal with TalkSport's Nick Walsh.
Yeah, South travels to take on West this afternoon down amid a backdrop of dreadful weather, and two teams seemingly heading in different directions in the Championship. That is, we have had the breakthrough. Good work from Sorba Thomas. Initially stood a lovely ball up for Josh Karoma, headed down into the path of Dwayne Holmes, left-footed finish beyond Jack Walton, but 60 seconds later, almost an equaliser. Innocuous routine balling from Liam Kitchen. Naby Sarr just got it all wrong, deflected the ball onto his own post, and would you believe it, is flashed agonisingly across the goal line. A let-off for the Terriers, having just taken the lead. Huddersfield 1, Barnsley 0.
He may well be waiting in the wings. One thing is for sure, 36,500 tickets sold at the Stadium Alight for Sunderland against rock bottom side in League One Doncaster Rovers. A goal though, which way's it gone? Graham Courtney.
And it's a party pooper, it really is. Sunderland 0, Doncaster Rovers 1. Terrific goal by Doncaster's new signing, Rio Griffiths. And really what he's done is he's caught Sunderland on the break, left his markers for dead, and he's finished really, really well. Started his career at Spurs. He's been actually the French side, Lyon, for the last, 3 and a bit years. This is his full debut, and he's scored on it. No sign of Roy Keane at the moment. Jermaine Defoe, though, is on the bench for Sunderland. He needs to come on. They need a goal. We have got 26 on the clock here. Sunderland 0, Doncaster 1.
Live later on TalkSport 2, they'll bring you every kick of Swansea against Blackburn from 5:30 in the Championship. 0-0 between Blackpool and Bristol City at Bloomfield Road. What's the latest? Also in the Championship at the MKM Stadium, Hull City. They're in action alongside Alan Biggs.
Yeah, against Preston it's 0-0, but only because of outstanding saves at both ends. We saw Matt Ingram, who's recalled in the Hull goal today, clawing out a header from Jakobsen just now, following which Tom Eaves with a diving header for Hull brought the best out of Daniel Everson. Lively game without the goals. Hull 0, Preston 0.
Another goal at the Western Homes in the 4th round of the FA Cup here on TalkSport with TalkSport's Jeff Peters.
Yeah, it's Peterborough United 1, Queen's Park Rangers 0. Joe Ward has scored the opener here after 25 minutes. Good play from the left-hand side. Poco involved. It came across to the middle and it was struck home powerfully into the bottom corner. And the team that is third bottom in the Championship is leading the team that is trying to get into the Premier League this season. It's Peterborough 1, QPR 0.
Can't wait for this later. Chris Eubank Jr. and Liam Williams finally set to face off tonight. The fight live and exclusive here on TalkSport, live from the Motorpoint Arena in Cardiff from 8 o'clock. Adam Cattrall, Gareth A. Davis, Andy Clark, Spencer Oliver. They won't miss a beat. Let's bring you the latest from the Aviva in the Six Nations, Ireland and Wales, with David Brady.
And the home side in command here, Ireland 17, Wales 0. We played 8 minutes of the second half. It was 10-0 at the break. Bundy Aki with the try in the third minute, and Ireland extending their advantage 4 minutes after the restart. Johnny Sexton with a long pass out to winger Andrew Conway. He had plenty of work to do. Looked like he may have initially grounded the ball a fraction short of the try line, but the momentum took him over with the assistance of the TMO. The try given, Sexton with an excellent conversion. Ireland 17, Wales 0.
So find out later if England are in for a nervy Murrayfield evening against Scotland. That Six Nations action kicks off 4:45. Sale flanker Tom Curry becomes England's youngest skipper since Will Carling in 1988. Goals as they go with our reporters in the fourth round of the FA Cup this afternoon. We'll do our very best to keep you abreast of all the latest in the EFL, in Scotland, in the National League as well. Already 1-1 between Oxford United and Portsmouth in League One, and Pompey down to 10 men. Joe Morrell sent off after 60 minutes. It's Charlton 1, AFC Wimbledon 1, also in League One. Shrewsbury Town 0, Fleetwood Town. Anthony Pilkington giving Fleetwood the lead after 21 minutes. Been a difficult few days for Barnet, but they lead by 2-0. Sam Beard with the second over Aldershot Town in the National League, and also a penalty scored. Kings Lynn Town 1-up over Weymouth in the National League. It's a lively atmosphere here at Selhurst Park with some good football on show. Darren Ambrose alongside Sam Ellard.
Brilliant football so far, especially from the home side. It's Crystal Palace 2, Hartlepool 0. Palace lead thanks to goals from Gerhi and Elise. Every single time Michael Elise has picked up the ball in this first half, he's causing the Hartlepool defenders all sorts of problems. Hartlepool did have a chance when they were 1-0 down. Jamie Sterry's back post delivery was met by David Ferguson, but Butland turned the header behind for a corner. Darren, there's just short of 5,000 Hartlepool fans who are here. They're creating a wonderful atmosphere. What have you made of Hartlepool's approach in the opening half an hour?
Yeah, a little bit disappointing actually, but it's been not been helped by Crystal Palace and how good they've been going forward in particular. And you mentioned the two, Eze and Elise, and what you have is a right-footed player playing on the left and a left-footed player playing on the right, and what that allows is the fullbacks to get round, which opens space for them to come in, and they've been a joy to watch at the moment, Crystal Palace going forward. Hartlepool just need to get a grip of the game and start trying to create something of their own and just to quiet